every writer and every artist, no matter what age. Some original art with me as well. A veteran of the comic book industry for 30 years. I'm a writer, I'm an artist, and this sucks.
Tonight's episode, The Stalker.
Don't start! We haven't left yet!
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Aaron Live. It's, what is it? It's December 11th, 2022. My gosh, I look as old as Indiana Jones, and that is not good. You know, I was looking at the video, you know, where I do the bloopers at the beginning, and I'm like, some of the shots of me are, you know, from like a year ago or longer, year and a half ago, and then some are more recent, and I'm like, am I gaining weight? Am I getting a George Lucas thing going on here? Like, do I need to? I don't know. It's just something, you know, it's just an observation. I don't know. Welcome one, welcome all. Let's see who's here, shall we? Well, you know what? Gray Wolf Graphics is at the top of the comment board, but I can tell you right now that I know the first one in the house was Leg Kick, because Leg Kick is here because he's almost always here. But even though he was first, he gets nothing for it but my gratitude for showing up, and I appreciate all of you joining me on this fine, rainy and cold Sunday afternoon. At least it is here where Shelley's at right now. She's bathing in sunshine, blue skies, warm weather, well, 60s, but that's a lot warmer than it is here. She's in Phoenix visiting our daughter at college. I got the honor of staying home and watching the dog, who's been barking all day. I'm like, no violence against animals. So anyway, but the show must go on. So even though we're not going to have Shelley Showtime tonight, which I know is very sad, we are going to have David Williams. And when David Williams shows up, dangerous drawing usually occurs. So we're going to have fun tonight regardless. I mean, not as much fun as we would if Shelley were here, but almost as much. Let me shift in my seat. I'm antsy. You know that? I am always shifting in my seat. I can't just sit still. I don't know. I've always been that way. Randy Howell is here. Dangerous drawing. Better have some Band-Aids ready. Well, that's what a Canadian says. Or at least that's what this Canadian says. Mr. Monkey Boy 1969 is here. You scared Jody. There it is. You scared Jody. Hair on Lopresti. That's not going to happen anytime soon. Sequential Treasures, of course, James is here. If drawing becomes dangerous, you are doing it wrong, he says. That could be true. And while I'm thinking about it, we're going to have a huge Comic Art Convo show on New Year's Eve of all times. So New Year's Eve, Saturday afternoon. So before you go out and party and just get, butt-faced and whatever you're going to do, tune in to Comic Art Convo. We're going to have a heck of a show. We're talking about our favorite artists and some other fun things like that, our favorite covered artists and things of that nature. So it's always a good time. So you want to make sure you mark that on your calendar. Mike McMahon is here. Leg kick. There's leg kick. He got knocked down a little bit, but I know he was the first one in. Marcus Killigrew is here. Brian's suddenly old. Now, Brian, have fun tonight. Got the Alterna auction. Got to see what's new. Possibly buy some more artwork. Okay, well, I see how it is. Marcus Killigrew says, I'm drawing now for Gaming Co. Company Mythic Americas on an 8-page story. How about that? Well, good for you. We'll all be working together tonight, then. That's fine. Tarks9 says, hail, Aaron and Shelley. Shelley's not here, but who knows? She could be watching. Although I don't think she took her iPad with her. I think she would just have to use her phone, which I don't know if she'd be watching on her phone or not. Oh, look at Creative Faye. He's jumping on us too. Hi, have a good show. I'll have to catch this stream later. I have to finish an essay. Woo. Ooh. Man, there's nothing I hated more in school than doing essays. Tarks and I have been talking about CG with the dude in the building we live in, and I have 3 copies of Wraith of God original covers, so I'll be handing one to this person. Thank you, Tarks, for spreading the word, because we couldn't do it without you. I mean, seriously, all these campaigns we're all running and the stuff we're doing, man, we're so totally dependent on you guys to spread the word for us and get the news out there to get these campaigns where they're at, so that we can actually afford to do the books. And you guys have been great and incredible support for me and many others. And I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I mean that. Bill Maxwell is here. Aldion is here. Good evening, all. Good evening to you. Citizen Ronan, of course, is here. And he's coming out of the gate swinging. And, well, I can do no less. Yeah, well, actually, David called me and said, hey, we should do a drawing stream soon. And I went, hey, why don't you come on Sunday? So here it is. I had a show planned if Shelley was going to be here, but we'll do it next week when Shelley gets back and my daughter's back for Christmas. And well, I won't tell you what it is, but it's another themed show, much like the Bigfoot show. I kind of enjoyed that actually quite a bit. So we'll do something on, I'll be a little bit more organized, do themed shows again. I kind of like that. So keep your eyes open for that. One Select Dude is here. Lady Celtic Moon is here. So I guess, okay, I'm here, so we can start the show, is pretty much what she's saying. Geek Avenger. Kevin Thomas. Hail, Aaron. Hail, David. Hello to the beautiful people in the chat. Just wanted to say hi. I'll have to catch this one later. Oh, see, another guy bailing out on us. That's just horrible. You're going to miss out. Actually, you can watch it in reruns. And if you are right now just tuning in for the rerun, thank you. Thank you for watching. And let me be the first to encourage you, the people in the live chat right now, and the people that may be watching this later, to, well, here's a public service announcement to let you know what's on my mind. That's right. I need you to like and subscribe, man. We're floundering around at like 2,200. Let's get this to 23, 24, 25. Let's get to 3,000 subs. But anyway, yeah, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit like and hit subscribe if you haven't done that already. It's free. Why not do it? And let's see here. Fritzy Snitchell is here. Savoir faire is everywhere, indeed. That's right. Geek Avenger. Show Aaron some love, folks. Hit the like and subscribe. Hit it. You're going to be a prison stalker. Hope you're not talking to me. Let's see. Aaron Cardio. I know. Let's see. Yeah, see, on my way to Gobbleneck. See, Gobblerneck. See, it's like I'd blow you up for that, but I can't destroy the truth. Entity has snow. Excellent for you, I guess, unless you hate driving it, then it really sucks. But yeah, she's barfing at my weight problems. I don't know. Yeah, if you're growing jowls, it's only because you're no longer being strangled by DC. That's good. I like that. E-collar. Aldion. David Williams is cool. So you're saying I'm not? Is that the inference I'm getting? Is that I'm not cool? I think I am cool. I think I'm the coolest. I keep telling everybody that anyways. I mean, eventually someone will listen. Let's see. Old man says, any thoughts on AI art? I've recently seen some people say that artists are going to be replaced with this stuff, and it kind of upsets me. I'm not a big fan, but I'm not a big fan of technology, period. So I mean, when David comes on, maybe we'll talk about that a little bit, because that is kind of an interesting topic. Excuse me. Geek Avengers got it. AI will never replace humans, just like CNC milling machines will never replace woodworking or carving. Hey, look at that. Christina Lynn's in the house. She is, of course, a freelance editor and proofreader that worked on Wraith of God. You know what, Christina, I'm going to be in touch with you tomorrow, because I have a very, very small job, but I finished the Merv, the Astro Chimp trading card, the back of it, which has all the writing and stats on it and stuff. And I need someone to proofread it for me, because I don't trust myself. So it'll be a very small job, but you know, I will be in touch with you tomorrow about that. Jay Desolate Soul Studios Doyle is here. I'm going to be on his show sometime in January, I think. OCB Reactions, go the Luddite way. I don't know what that means, but hey. I said photography would replace traditional art. It all goes in cycles. But I don't know if it's going to replace it. No, actually it might. I mean, we see everybody's going digital now. So traditional art is almost a lost art form. Seriously, I think in 10 to 15 years, you're not going to see anybody doing traditional art. Except maybe me. If I'm still here in 10 to 15 years. Well, let's hope. All right. Well, I'm going to do a few traditional things that we do on this show, and then we're going to get to the right into the drawing, because I got a feeling what David and I are going to be working on, it's probably going to take us a couple hours. So we don't want to spend a lot of time jawing with y'all when I should be drawing with y'all. But we are going to do a couple things, and one of them is this.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Oh. Well, I'm not gonna pretend that I'm kind of eating healthy today. I do have these. Okay. Now these are Triscuits, but they're like the flavored kind, fire roasted tomato and olive oil. Just a nice hint of flavor. So there they are. I got two of them. I'm going to set them on top of the box there. But what I also have is Tillamook cheese, which is made right here in Tillamook, Oregon. And quite frankly, it may be the best cheese in the country. And this gets shipped all over the United States. So I got friends on the East Coast who buy this stuff and swear by it. It is so good. But the cheese factory is actually about 50 miles from me, 60 miles maybe. Yeah, maybe 60. So I bought these little, it should just open right up. There it goes. This is like kind of a sharp white cheddar. It's not kind of a sharp white cheddar, it is. So I'm going to split that baby in half, put one on each of my Triscuits. Thing of beauty, man. What are you guys eating? Anything? Too much sodium. Come on. Everybody loves salt. Anti-Entity's eating water. No, I'm drinking water. I shouldn't have put this up, but I've read a couple. I've got a stack, but I haven't caught up with it. I don't do a ton of reading, and that's my problem. I looked through all of them. I read Groken, the first one. Artwork in that is just stunning. And then I read Graham's Alien Alamo, and the Chenoo. So I read those two. And what else have I read? I started Shane Davis's Inglorious Rex, but there's a lot of dialogue and captions in it. So I'm intimidated by it. So I've only got about 6 pages into it. I'm a man of few words, unless I'm on screen, and then I'll, I got verbal diarrhea. So, but I have a bunch sitting over here. I just haven't read them yet. So. Jay says, I'm drawing, dude. Getting our first book ready for 2023 Atlas of Sidonia. Very cool. See, we got some guys working tonight. It won't just be me and David. David ever shows up. I said 5:15. It's now 5:16. He's a minute late. And he's a fan of the old Batman TV show. And you know what Batman told Robin? Better an hour early than a minute late, old chum. So David apparently doesn't live by that motto. Inglorious Rex has a lot of dialogue because he's got Yanzi to help him with it. Well, it could be. Not since school. I have done pop-up books. I've done 2 of them. I've done one for Marvel and one for DC, or I've contributed to them. I didn't do the whole thing. So I can say that. All the books I'm backing and following are Shadow Man. That means they're good. Oh, look at that. Nomadman just finished up a barbecued pork roast. Like the whole thing. Wow, that's impressive. The most stolen item in the world is cheese. I never would have guessed it. That makes sense. Well, Mike's been here for 30 seconds. He's complaining already that it's just me. It's unbelievable. Well, while we wait for David, let's take a look at Bernie. Here's the thing about that Wrightson piece. I think I've shown it before on Wrightson Image of the Day, but it is one of my favorites. And it is the Christmas season, and it is Wrightson, and it is Santa Claus, 2 of my favorite things, put together in a single image. Oh my gosh. I'll tell you, just a little cheese and crackers. And sorry about that. The thing about that is that original art, that very piece, was hanging framed on the wall at CrossGen when I worked there. And every morning, I'd walk down that hallway and look at that piece. And I'd want to steal it every single time I walked by it. But alas, I did not steal it. I probably should have, because when CrossGen went bankrupt and Alessi, they took a lot of his assets to pay for his debt. And I'll bet that ended up in their possession and auctioned off someplace. So he also had that Frazetta girl watercolor with that girl bathing. And she's like covering up just her lower region and being surprised in the water. That was sitting in the conference room or hanging on the wall in the conference room. It's some nice pieces. He had some nice pieces for sure. But anyway, so I thought I would reshare that Wrightson Christmas illustration that, of course, was in Creepy Magazine. I do have the Creepy Magazine. It was actually colored in the inside front cover. It wasn't black and white. It was colored in that issue, as I recall. I don't know if Wrightson did the colors or not on it. I'm guessing no, but I'm not sure. There it is. Aaron Lepresti, kleptomaniac confirmed. Only on the right stuff. Oh, there's Darth Josh. Hey, Darth. Let's see. Ian says, am I the only one who would love a Garbage Pail Kid style CG card set of CGers doing GPK caricatures of other CGers? You mean like, this isn't really Garbage Pail Kid worthy, but there's my little cartoon of John Malin that I did. Yeah, well, like the piece that Malin did of Rainey that won the Fragtoberfest contest, where her head was on the cake platter, and then of course she got her revenge by having her cat, or not her cat, but her whatever, the mountain lion or whatever it is that's in her story, eating the flesh off of Malin's body. Those are Garbage Pail Kid worthy. Aaron, cut to Bernie as he needed to cut the cheese for another snack, of course. Wah, wah, wah. Yeah, that wasn't good enough. Nice try though, Randy. We appreciate it. I realize you're up in Canada, but come on. We need to get David better internet service. Man, that's the truth. Who knows? He could be struggling with his camera right now, even as we speak. Yeah, you had the hair swirling, like the balding Santa Claus, like that big, like comb over strand kind of blowing in the wind, and the clouds were swooping like that through the sky. Yeah, it was a tremendous piece. Tremendous piece. Yeah, let's see here. Mike said, I haven't been here 30 seconds. I've been here a solid 2 minutes. Jiminy Cricket. What's Jiminy up to? Oh, he's plugging Wraith of God. Thank you guys so much. I should post a list of everybody that, like in my top 10 referrals for Wraith of God Blood Hunters, because a lot of them are you guys that post links and stuff like that to the campaigns. Speaking of which, the links to the campaign to Wraith of God Blood Hunters is in the description of this video. So at some point, check it out, hit that button or hit that link and go check out the site. We also have David's Bass Reeves link is in this in the description of this video. I'm going to go check that out. Now that's going to be a collection of all 6 issues of Bass Reeves. So the first 3 that were published as floppies, and then the next 3 will just be included in this. And you can get a hardcover with a really cool, what's his name? Robinson, his first name, not Roger. Yeah, really good. Great cover, painted cover. And then, of course, David's cover will be on the softbound. So there you have it. Christina Lynn says, there's a show called Toys That Built America that had the history of the Cabbage Patch Kids and Garbage Pail Kids. That's a pretty good show. Actually, I watched one not too long ago that was on Legos. It was very interesting. Most of that stuff is. Aldion saying, I'm excited about Wraith of God. I'm new to the series, but you can't argue with sci-fi like Western. No, you can't, with a little bit of horror in there, a little bit of superhero in there. It's got everything. Randy's got it right. Back Aaron, refund Rini. That's the way to play it. Okay, there is one more thing I want to do here. I can stall while because I did have some programming notes to hit. And here's another one. I think all of you might enjoy this. I stumbled across this. Oh, you know what? I got it was it's a comic shop in New York City, Forbidden Planet. I think this came from a Forbidden Planet ad. And to put it mildly, I was a bit shocked. Let's see how you guys react to this. I was like, hang on a second. Now, apparently, this comic has been around for 18 years, 18th anniversary, 2004 to 2023. Wow. So does that mean that I've been copyright infringing on this guy? That Shelley has been copyright infringing on this guy? I don't know, but I was shocked to see this, as you can imagine. And look at all those little guys from Uranus. Now, David Williams is calling me on the phone. Hang on a second. Yes, David, you're live. Be careful what you say.
Resend me the StreamYard.
Dude, I sent it on Instagram and on Twitter.
Do it again. It's asking for some code and stuff. It's not letting me in.
Oh my gosh. All right, hang on. I'll send it in just a minute. Or just a sec. I'll send it on Instagram.
All
All right. See you soon, I hope. All right, so let's contemplate as I send this link. It's always something, isn't it? It's always something. So I'll send this link to David. Well, you guys contemplate the deep thoughts that Uranus Comics brings to mind. I'm kind of wondering what a book called Uranus Comics might be about. And what are those little pink dudes? I mean, I don't even really want to know. Well, he's probably talking about the planet, right? He must be talking about the planet. Yeah, you know, Christina reminded me that by showing this, I automatically have to do this. Tis true. I have to remain consistent with the cleanliness that this show tries to uphold on the internet, which is just a dirty place. And let's see here. Aldion blames Jimmy Reyes. I think you may be onto something there. Pony Express, Western Express, all these are great ideas. Let's see here. Two boomers walk into a bar. Hey, it's not my fault. Okay. It's not my fault. All right. All right. Geek Avenger says, today I learned there was a Roman emperor named Pupienus. I don't know. I don't know if I believe it. Let's see. Randy Howell says, I clench at the thought of Uranus. Oh my goodness. The pink guys are hemorrhoids. They might be. You might be onto something there. Well, look at that. Still no David. Well, let's what a disaster. What a disaster. No, you know the great thing about whether David shows up or not, I can still draw. You just can't get him drawing. It'll just be me drawing, which is only half as much fun. Oh, that just sounds nasty. Yikes. Should we call David again, find out what the heck's going on? I think David gets confused. Let's see what he says. You're live.
What?
Is it working?
Yeah, hold on. I'm getting it working. I'm fixing my camera.
Okay.
I'll be there in
All right.
good shape.
Okay. All right. All right. Okay. I may be a boomer, but I'm not a boomer. That's a boomer. He's fixing his camera. He's got it working. So, you know, he's just slow rolling it. There it is. Indeed, the world's first artist phone live stream. We'll talk about what we're drawing. Allianz like, send John Malin the link. Malin has made it clear he doesn't want to hang out with old dudes. He's too young, too virile to, shall I say, to be hanging out with guys like me. But I want to show you a couple things. Now, I got drawings sitting here that I've got to get rid of. So if anybody wants any of these, I'll give you a good deal on them. There's the old witch. Remember when I did that? I did it on a sketch stream or something. It's the old witch from EC. Now these are just on like 20-pound, copy paper. So I would probably let this go for like $40. See, look at that. Anybody that collects John Malin portraits, that's available. Now this is a good one. It's on 20-pound paper. Not that the other two aren't good there, but they got a little zombie action there. That's available. $40. I got this. Now this is nice. You guys remember this one, right? I just posted this on social media. I drew this a while ago. This is 11 by 14, markered up, Wonder Woman. It's a nice piece. That's available. And I did this. I did this on Fraga's stream. Remember when I had to beat Fraga to get on the finals, and I used this lizard drawing that got me in there. And this is available as well. And I also have this. You guys may remember me doing this Mephisto drawing. So all this stuff right now, you guys just email me or message me on social media or whatever and say, hey, dude, I want how much for that or whatever. They're all fairly reasonably priced. So Wonder Woman's probably like $250, but all the other ones would be considerably less than that. So, will Shelley be signing any of these? It's funny. I had somebody contact me, and I apparently did. I know I did. I magically appeared at a store signing in Tennessee, of all places, and I did a Wonder Woman sketch for a guy there on like a backing board or something, and apparently didn't sign it. And so he just contacted me and said, hey, I just realized this wasn't signed. How do I get this signed? So I guess I'm just going to have him ship it to me, and then I'll sign it and ship it back to him. But it's always nice to actually remember to do that stuff. All right. Enough of this nonsense. You should pay me for looking at that John Malin piece. Confirmed. And see, look at that. Mike's just here to start trouble. Now, with no further ado, let's bring him in. The artist of the day, the special guest star, the guy who's going to draw pictures along with me. Some people call us professionals. Put your hands together for David Williams. There he is. Welcome, David.
Hello.
Hey, I love it when you bring the energy, man. Love it. What do you can say?
So
glad to be here, Aaron. Really appreciate that. Oh, you're pixelating. Holy crap. I'm telling you. Yep.
Can you hear me?
Can't hear you. There, you're
I'm pixelating.
You're breaking up. Yep. All right. Well, now you're okay. You're okay for the moment. Can you hear me okay?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yes. Yes, I can.
Okay. All right.
All right. Did you finish that? Well, turn my mic up a little bit. How about that? All right. What do you got on your desk, dude?
Wait, hold on.
All right. Well, he's fixing that. Shelley brought up something that I thought was pretty funny on our last Sunday show that I have to share with you. All right. So this is a book I did way back. What?
Hear me?
Huh? Okay, speak again.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you
Okay,
hear
good.
me?
Okay.
All right. You're very loud now.
Yeah.
Very loud.
Sorry. I'm trying to turn it down.
There you go. That's good right there. Okay.
What do I
All
have
right,
on
so-
my desk? You asked me earlier.
Yeah, okay, let's do that since I already asked you that. And then I'll show you what Shelley said that was so funny last week. Okay, go ahead. What do you have on your desk, David?
An old commission I have to finish, but that's just the layout.
Okay.
And this is what it's turning into.
Very cool. Now you're doing your coloring with markers, right?
Yes, sir.
Very nice. I got a commission list and I need to get on it because I know there's people been waiting. But I will say this, I don't take money up front. So it's not like they're, like I'm screwing them over or anything or, causing them any sort of undue pain. But okay, so I did this book several years ago, Fantastical Creatures Field Guide, How to Hunt Them Down and Draw Them Where They Live. And one of the things in here I shared with the audience last week, and Shelley goes, "You know who that reminds me of?" And I said, "No, who?" And I got to find the thing. Here it is. She goes, "That reminds me of David Williams with his round sunglasses on and his beard." All right.
Nice.
That, of course, is the bug-eyed bush beard. So, anyway, so that was kind of funny. All right,
Send her a cannonball for me.
yeah. Yeah. All right, hey, I'll do it right now. Okay, Shelley, that was from David. I just want you to know you don't get mad at me. Okay. See, now people in the chat are like, it does look like him. See.
Send all
It's
of them a cannonball for me.
That's right. Well, see, it's like that monkey card I have that looks like Phil Diaz, because it has the same hair and the sideburns and everything. So it's just one of those weird coincidences. Did David show the Batman he's working on? He just did. Past Master Danner. You could throw it up there again, David. I'm gonna give you all full screen. You hang on a second. There we go. Nice little underlighting you got going there. Very nice. And I love it's the classic Batman, I suppose the comment then is there any other kind, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Randy Howell says David is looking very wizard-like. So that's right. So are you a Dungeons and Dragons guy?
No.
Good. All right. Oh, okay. Mike says Sierra Nats, how you draw Batman. Mike, here you go. Okay. All right. So we're going to draw something because I sort of advertised that we would. So I guess, are we taking suggestions from the audience? Is that the thing?
Sure. Yeah.
I should show off my David Williams art collection before we get going here. I cleaned up my flat files recently, and now I can't find anything. It's like it's always better when it's disorganized because I seem to know where everything is. So you guys start posting some suggestions in the messages so that we have something to inspiration to draw from here. If I can find the right portfolio, there it is. All right. Okay, so I'm just going to remind everybody of this. Last time we collaborated was on this gem right here.
You gotta go full screen.
I'm going to. I gotta go lefty here though. All right, so that's David did the Batman, I did the Clayface, and we put them together. I keep threatening to put this up for sale, and I should. But then again, I keep thinking, this is kind of cool. I should keep this. So I keep battling with myself about what to do with that. Okay, so let's take a look at some David Williams art here. As I, all right, here's a Space Ghost and Captain America, both of them drawn on this show. We were doing competitive drawing. Pretty sure that I won the Captain America contest, though. Very good. A little controversy there, but and then look at that black bolt. That's cool. And then, oops. I think he did that on the Halloween show or something. I don't even know what we were doing. We were just screwing around. Got Frankenstein and Batman there. And then those of you who supported the original Wraith of God campaign might remember this artwork from the sticker set. That's the nightclub, of course. And I commissioned David to do the sticker art for that particular sticker. And Mike Miller actually did the Wraith of God piece for that sticker collection as well. All right. So there we have it.
Look at you.
Okay, so let's see what we got here in the chat. Jeff Potts says Atari Force. I'm not doing Atari Force.
He wants the whole group.
Gru. Draw Jack Frost versus Frosty the Snowman. Wrightson style Swamp Thing. Let's see some clunky junk bots. Gundam drawing. Draw Wednesday Addams. Excuse me. Disco Dazzler punching out Galactus as Wraith watches in the background. Yeah, that'll be easy. Jump right on that one. Forbish Man, of course, that's classic Lopresti. Doc Savage is cool. I like Doc Savage. Let's see. Geek Adventure says the Russians have a Santa figure called Grandfather Frost, and he has a companion, a young girl named the Snow Witch. Interesting. And let's see here. Frame that sucker and hang it up, Aaron. I probably will. Danky Frankie, Disco Dazzler destroying the Hulk. Humphrey Bear says a Christmas wreath. Boy, that would be a challenging. Batman and John Kerry. I don't even know what that means. Old Man says Scarecrow, Black Cat, Abomination, the Lizard, Doc Ock. Jiminy Cricket, you didn't win with that Brohawk art, Aaron. You didn't win with that Brohawk art, Aaron. You didn't win. Oh, I see. About the Captain America thing. Jiminy Cricket needs some clarity. Mike, I'll help him think a little bit straighter. Citizen Ronan says that Williams kids got some talent. Let's see. Draw Jack Frost by Aaron and Frosty the Snowman by David. 60s X-Men. That's kind of fun, isn't it? boy, Danky Frankie is he's coming up with different versions of Disco Dazzler doing things. Well, let's see here. Santa the Barbarian. Just a bunch of people saying hello to each other. Draw Krampus. That's interesting. Doc Savage again. The Christmas Cat. I don't even know what that means. Draw another joint piece. Bass Reeves meet Wraith, but you swap characters. We did that before, actually. Didn't we do that? Because I got a
like
Bass
that.
Reeves sitting around here somewhere. I know I do. Let's see. Jack Skellington. Draw binary. From
the X-Men.
Yeah, I still trying to remember who that is.
It's basically Phoenix, just different colors.
Okay. Let's see. Evil One, is the show tanking because Shelley isn't here? No, but thanks for the pleasant, the well wishes. And let's see here. Spawn. We'll get another. Oh, it's Angela again. She's really pushing for Krampus. Flu is going around. Kids beware. Okay. Dominic Fortune. Draw. I know. Draw Hillary Clinton. Doesn't get much more scary than that. That's the truth. Okay. You got any inspiration, David, by anything I've just read?
Okay. How about I draw Daredevil and you draw Elektra?
Do these go together or are they just separate pieces?
We could do them as separate pieces. We'll do something cooler or if you want, you could have her jumping in and they're about to clash like right before the spread, and we could put some buildings behind it and all that kind of stuff.
You know what we should do? Now, here's what we'll do. Okay, I'm all for that. I'll do Elektra. That's cool. But we should do a Christmas special where we do another combined piece.
Okay.
Because that'll probably take a much longer period of time than I have and you have this evening. All right, so we'll just do companion pieces, but not ones that fit together. So you're going to do Daredevil, and I'm going to do Elektra.
Okay.
All right, I got it. Which size are you doing it?
Well, this probably the same as what I did the Batman. So
11 by 17.
11 by 17. It'll be I'll do the right side and you could do the left side.
Okay.
Because I'm always on the right side.
Wait a minute.
He's about to switch me.
I don't know. Can I do that?
No,
yeah.
Hey, look, if I turn my back, I'm still technically on the right side.
Oh man, I can't win for losing, as my mom used to say. All right, let me switch to my my action draw cam here. Why am I echoing? I tell you. All right, let me get this camera. I got to figure out some sort of decent action pose here. I may have to pretty much have Elektra down, but I may have to quickly pull up some Elektra reference. All right, let's see here. Oh, great. Now my keyboard's not working. I am a boomer. There we go. How many of these images do you think will not be Frank Miller? Almost all of them, probably. Ooh, I just pulled up a piece of Electra AI art. Ugh. All right, so that's really the question. Someone asked me that earlier. What are you? I know what you're going to say, but what are your feelings on AI art and what you've seen so far?
I mean, just like everything, you know, it's this next evolution, but it's just pushing us closer to that inevitable thing of, you know, we're dinosaurs and we're going to be from a bygone era. And big tech doesn't care. And none of this art, so-called art, it doesn't mean anything. Art, and that's where, you know, certain ideologies clash, you know, where so-called progress, you know, eliminates the human and the man and the woman or whatever and their gifts. So if AI takes over and it gets so sophisticated to where you just tell it to do a comic book and do it in Jim Lee's style, then Jim Lee's obsolete. You know, Aaron Lopresti's obsolete. You know,
Aaron
because
Lopresti may already be obsolete, but
you know what I'm saying. But
yeah,
the and that's not true. Don't say that. And until there's no more breath in your lungs, you're still viable. But when, you know, this thing wants to take away human gifts and abilities and purpose, and the more corporations do that, the more it makes humans lazy, you know. And that's why we're not getting better. Computers are getting better, but we as humans are not getting better. The more we take away these things that don't foster our gifts to produce, the more society becomes worse. You think it's better, it's not. You think you're smarter, you're not. The computers are smarter just because it's right at your fingertips, but you're not. You didn't earn it. You know, whatever you're putting on the paper right now, you earned that because of the knowledge that you've earned over the years and the practice and the trials and error, and then the muscle memory that is imprinted into you over those years. For that now to be just taken away with AI art is sickening. I have a friend he was trying to develop that type of thing, and he was always pitching it to me, and he, you know, his excuse is like, oh, artists are too expensive and this, that, and the other.
right.
And it's easier for a writer just to be able to do this stuff, and he won't have to deal with paying an artist and stuff like that. And I always tease him. I said, the moment you get one of these, or you develop it, and the moment you program it and you're about to press enter, you're going to have a laser sight on your chest, and it's going to be from me, because I'm going to make sure you don't get to use it, because it becomes so insulting that just because you can't afford it, you want to find a way to eliminate people's careers. That would eliminate thousands of artists' careers. It would like be what would be the point of collecting I mean, by and large, collecting original art is going by the way of the dodo bird. You know? So
Well, I wonder, and we've seen this forever. There used to be, and again, we're getting back to the golden age of illustration, right?
yeah.
But there used to be companies and art directors that sort of appreciated the quality that an artist could bring to any given project or assignment. And I think we're well past the point now where there's not really any sort of deciphering eye in editorial or art direction anymore. And so it's like you said, you take away the human element, the creative input that a human being would have, and it doesn't matter to them. It's like the polish on the finished product is what matters, right? It's not anything deeper than that. And so if you can have an electronic program can create this kind of airbrushy, polishy sort of, look to a finished product that's taking sample styles from a variety of artists that you want to try and make it resemble, or an amalgam of variety of artists, then really all we're talking about is, does some corporation or some editor in a corporation or art director or whatever their label might be, all they want is to see the finished product that looks, shiny and new and really slick, and anything that went into it, anything deeper than that is irrelevant. I mean, we see that in movie posters now, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And and there's also the thing of where are they getting the assets from to create this stuff? They're going to run into lawsuits unless they're going directly to the artist to say, hey, we want to use your art and we'll pay you X amount of dollars for us to use your art to feed our computer to be able to reproduce a facsimile of your art.
Well, that may be true, but is there a difference though between, let's say, I'm, random artist that wants to draw like Jim Lee. So I spend all my time copying Jim Lee's style, right? And I can do a pretty good fake Jim Lee style, right? I mean, we've seen plenty of guys do that to Travis and other artists where they just, they're aping their style. There's guys out there right now aping Kevin Nolan, right? And you have to kind of do a double take and say, wait, is that Kevin Nolan? No, that isn't. And so would that be any different than an artificial intelligence sampling somebody's style to create a new style?
Well, there's nuance within that. And even when we were coming up and we would see other artists aping other artists, we would kind of look down on them. You know what I mean? Where
yeah, we did.
And there's no big push to oust this person and say, hey, get off this guy's nuts. That's you're jocking too hard. You know what I mean? Find your own style. I mean, and some artists would actually go to that person and say such things,
right?
And it was almost like okay, you did it enough, now find your own thing. But there could be, a case to be made for someone who's, extremely efficient at someone's style, and then they produce a lot more than the original guy who's more labor intensive over it. And this other guy finds a shortcut and he's getting way more work and all this. There's something distasteful about that, but the editors and all that kind of stuff, they don't care. They just care about the end product. And I would say a good 80% of the comic buying community, they don't care either. They just want their fix, but there is something very distasteful about that. And that's different from, say, like a one-off cover, or maybe an issue where you're paying homage to a certain, just say, like, for instance, if Bruce Timm was doing classic X-Men, he'd probably do it in Jack Kirby style or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or the Avengers or whatever. But that's a homage. He's not doing it constantly just to, be Kirby all the time and live off of Kirby's name. It's more of a homage towards him, saying, hey, this was the best memory of these characters for me, so I'm paying homage to Kirby in this, more so than, okay, and give me 5 more issues of this or 12 more issues. He's not trying to do that. So, but there's artists out there right now that are almost, you can't, the keen-eyed person will go, oh, that's not Arthur Adams, that's so-and-so.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But I'm bringing this up to address the thing that you brought up about, lawsuit or something. I mean, that's the question though. Is it any different than one of these? Well,
I was going to get to that, because if it starts getting, the computer is going to only spit out what it randomly can at certain points, and sometimes it'll probably hit on something so exact. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That someone's going to say, hey, you're swiping, and I was going to get into swiping, where we know there's artists that wholesale swipe. There's people that make up Facebook posts and, about swipe files and all this. Oh, this guy swiped this guy swiped this. And it's almost line for line. And that, again, it's very, very distasteful. I had a run-in with a DC artist that got some of my work from Consumer Products that wasn't supposed to be out yet, and he put it in his book.
Oh my gosh.
And then I had to call DC, and they were apologizing for me, and they reprimanded that artist. And they thought that I was going to sue him because I was in a different branch of Warner Brothers. And so there are those things where if you want to be an a-hole about it and say, look, Disney sues people all the time for doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's what I'm saying. If people want to be dogmatic about it, they could be. But by and large, artists are not ruthless business people. And they're just thinking of, oh, well, hey, I told that guy don't do it again, and hopefully he doesn't do it again. And they'll just leave it. And they just want to do their thing. But these business types, if they want to pinch that penny, they'll pinch it and they'll get some extra.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, none of us are in most cases in any position to, to go through the legal expense of suing somebody for, the only thing that's ever worth, suing is if you're, if whoever you're suing has a lot of money you can get out of them, because it's going to cost you money to sue somebody in that case. And
there's
so
also,
I mean, you're right.
There's also principle. There's
right, but I'm just talking about the average artist, like you said, that might say, "Oh, that guy's ripping off my style," and as to why no one really does anything about it. Because I know I've talked to artists like you have that they see someone out there aping their style and they don't like it. In fact, I have not ever met anybody who said, "Yeah, I think it's kind of cool. They're ripping off my style and making a career out of it." The
only person I knew who liked that was Neil Adams. Like, he wanted people to draw like him when he had Continuity Studios.
Well, I guess that's the thing, though. It's like the whole Krusty Bunkers thing, right? When they were inking, it's like if you're running a studio and you hire and you have a style that people, they expect from a commercial product, then you hire guys to ape your style. I mean, newspaper strip guys did that all the time, but that was basically so they could do more work, right? Pay this guy to draw just like me so I can do more work and get more money coming in. So Neil was benefiting,
Well, he was taking cues from these people who do manga books, who have studios, and it's generally based around one guy who came up with this thing, and he probably only just does the figure work on occasionally, and then he has his team to come in and just
Mm-hmm. Aldion says, Aaron, you might want to tell David Williams the drawing has started.
I give Aaron a head start all the time.
Okay, here we go. That's right. He's helping me out. That's right. What's this? Andino Palacio says, why would anyone steal or swipe Aaron's style? They must be a desperate artist. Here, this is for you, Andy. No. Old man's back saying everybody's.
I swipe Aaron all the time.
That's right.
I
I
swipe left.
could. Ouch. Old man says everybody's influenced by what came before, but AI will be able to copy the style exactly. The real sad thing is it will all just be content to be consumed, and normies won't care. And that's the sad truth. I mean, I don't think. I mean, there will be people that. I mean, there's people that are in this industry, fan-wise. I mean, readers that are, discerning and discriminating about that type of thing. But a majority of readers are just Spider-Man fans, right? And it's like I've said before, I was really popular with the Wonder Woman crowd when I was drawing Wonder Woman, but as soon as I stopped, most of them moved on to the next Wonder Woman artist, and they didn't follow me to, Justice League or whatever else I worked on after that. So it's still true that a lot of people are character driven, and I get that because that's the product you're selling, right? You're not always, if you're doing a painting or you're doing just pure illustration, then you're selling yourself as the artist, right? But when you're selling a comic book, you're selling the concept, the IP, and you're trying to make it more palatable or more desirable because of your talent that you put into it, right? But some people are not necessarily buying a comic book just because of the creator. I mean, some people do. I've done it before, but those are rare cases. I mean, there's rare artists that have that sort of ability to, I'm going to buy everything that Adam Hughes does because he's Adam Hughes, right?
Yeah.
But most of us are not in that boat where we can, demand a tremendously huge fan base based just on our artistic ability or style. There's got to be some character or universe or whatever that they're into and that they're interested in that makes them sort of come along for the ride. So it is interesting. It will be interesting to see how this evolves as it goes forward. Because I've been on a couple shows with Mike Miller and
Get it out, old man.
It's just, I might as well just forget it. The guy who does the weapons stuff, gosh darn it, the writer who does the weapons shows, doggone it. Anyway, and they were discussing AI and had a panel of guys discussing AI, and obviously they have a different take on it than you or I would, but they're younger, they're not traditional artists in that sense, and some of them aren't even artists. They were just like, they were writers that wanted to get their concepts out there, and it was they think that'll be a better or easier or more viable way for them to do that.
Yeah.
I'm still not a huge fan of digital painting, but I understand it. And it's still people drawing. They're just doing it on a digital pad as opposed to, but it is easier, and that's why people do it, because it's easier to correct mistakes. It's easier to change your mind and it's easier to change your color palette. But part of the charm, or I guess maybe the exclusivity, I don't know if that's the right word I want to use, but spending the time to develop your skills to a point where you can be a professional, that
hold on a second.
It still means something to us. Yeah. Uh-oh. The dog. See, and it's not my dog for a change. I don't think that was a baby crying. I think that was a dog yelping, but I should watch myself because I was like, that was his granddaughter. I'm in trouble now.
I'm back.
Okay.
You know, like when people talk and their voices go louder, louder, louder.
Yep.
Keep it down, guys.
It sounded, you guys got a dog, right?
Several.
Yeah, it sounded like some dogs yipping, but was that grandkids?
Oh, it's both.
Well, we'll see. I mean, I think we're years away, you know, from it really being
Right
a
at our
violent.
doorstep. What are you talking about?
Well, I mean, to a point where it can actually, because I talked to some of these guys and they were like, you know, they would show me an AI drawing, but they had to go through like 200 or 300 revisions before they actually got to that point.
Yeah.
So it's certainly not efficient to put a book together or something like that at this point.
Yeah.
But I don't know, maybe it won't take that long. Maybe it'll just take a couple of years. I have no idea how the market moves so fast on technology now that it's crazy.
Do you draw on the reverse side of your paper?
No.
You're that good.
I'm that good. No, I check. What I do is I'll take because it's always the face, right, that gets messed up.
Yeah.
The eyes are off or whatever. I'll flip it and then hold it up to light so I can see through the light to the back side of it, see if the eyes are jacked up, which they generally are. And then I'll go back and, fix them.
Gotcha.
But do you start all your drawings on the back side and do roughs and then flip it?
No, I'll do it quick on the front and then I'll draw on the back and then I'll draw on the front. I just keep on going back and forth. So,
but your goal is to use the front of the page, right? Not the back. I mean, one side, when you start, you have one side in mind that's going to be the finished side.
I don't pencil for other people often. So when I'm penciling, it's penciling for myself. So I don't have to have the full pencils on the front because I'm using a light table and I just ink over the piece. So I could have some of the drawings on the front and the back and it'll make a whole piece. You know what I mean? But no side has the complete drawing.
So you're not inking the pencils then. You're putting you're inking on a different sheet over the top of your layouts and roughs.
Exactly.
Okay.
And occasionally I'll pencil on the actual page, like if I forgot to put something in the drawing that was in the script or something like that. I'll go, oh, okay, I'll draw this real quick and sometimes I hate erasing, so I'll just leave the pencil sketchy stuff in there and stuff. And
dude, I hate erasing too, but I still do it.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's
I don't know. I like letting my people know that it's a drawing. You know what I mean? I don't want them so swept away that, you know what I mean? Let them know that there's a human in there and there's perfect imperfections.
Perfect imperfections. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I used to have like you have in your desk right there. That's basically a light table on on a what do you call it? A slant, not a slant, but a you can move it up and down like a drafting table, right?
Yeah, but it's a pain in the butt to do it. But yeah,
right, because it's so freaking heavy, right? I had one that size, but is that got a wood frame on it?
Yep.
Mine was a metal frame and it weighed like a ton. It was a big light table, drafting table, light table that like engineers and technical illustration guys that, you know, would use. And I bought it because it was a dinosaur when I bought it. And that was like 20 years ago. It was in the 90s, 25 years ago, or whatever. And it was a dinosaur then, but it was so cool because it was freaking huge. It was basically, it was about the size of the one you got, but I had no place to put it. You know, we couldn't like haul it upstairs because it was, like I said, it was metal. It weighed a ton.
Yeah.
And so I had it out in my garage, and, you know, you go out there in the summertime and it's, you know, 90 degrees in your garage, or you go out in the wintertime and it's 27 degrees. So you're not going to be out there working on it very much. I finally got rid of it.
Yeah. I got another one that's really huge, but it's in storage. But I just fell in love with them because these animation tables, you know, were such a huge change for me. And it almost felt like a status thing to have them. You know, they're not really necessary. I like them.
I collect drafting tables like I collect comic books. I've got 4 jammed into the studio right now, and I only need 1 really. I mean, this one is a smaller one I use just for online stuff, but yeah, I mean, if someone has an old drafting table they want to get rid of, you're kind of like, yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah. This drafting table was my art director's over at Warner Brothers, and when he left, I said, "Hey, you know, you're not going to take your table?" He's like, "No, you can have it." I was like, and he had 2 of them in his office, and I took the larger one. I was just like, I gotta have this.
I know, it's like it is. This is like this kind of weird sort of artistic status symbol to have a giant drafting table. John Malin's in the house. He says paper is for dinosaurs. See, he represents the youth movement.
I'm a T-Rex up in this biatch.
Yep. Let's see. He says I'm the young hothead of the group. Nobody understands me, but everybody wants to be me.
There you go.
Gotta love John Malin. What can you say about him? But hey, I mean, I guess I'm a Malin fan too. I showed this earlier. I've drawn a portrait of Malin. Malin's never drawn a picture of me. So, you know, I guess nice. I do. I want to be just like John. That should be his like a Nike thing, right?
Yeah. I want to be like John.
Yeah. Jiminy Cricket says John Malin, all the great artists are misunderstood. Pollock, Duchamp, Hitler. Oh my gosh. Oh, don't be smart. Don't bring Hitler in. Now see, John, this is what happens. You show up and then I got Hitler posts in the message board. Oh my goodness. You know, everybody draws Electra a little bit different. I guess that means I can draw her any way I want to. Oh, there's some more. There's a lot of Electra AI art floating around, and it ain't good. I'll tell you that. All right, here we go. Old man says, it makes me sad to think there is art that will never see a page and be held in somebody's hand. That's the way I am. I don't know. I mean, it is old fashioned. I mean, if you're brought up, you know, in the 90s or post 90s, which is amazing to even think that there's people that, that were born in the 90s and the 2000s that are adults now. It's pretty freaky, but I mean, it's all, a lot of it's what you're exposed to. And so, I mean, I get the, and I get the convenience of digital art, but to me, and this is kind of an old school sort of thought process, but my income was always partially dependent on original art sales. It always has been.
Yep.
Whether it's the pages you drew for any particular series or commissions at a show. And I could never, I see some of these more popular artists like, George Jimenez or Jorge Jimenez, however you pronounce it, guy doing Batman, very popular. I mean, he could be just selling his pages for a fortune, but he doesn't have any pages because it's all digital. And it's like, I don't know. I mean, but maybe these guys, a lot of these guys stay single their whole life and they don't, they don't want to have kids or anything like that. So I guess they keep their expenses low. So therefore they don't need, the income that those of us who were, more family oriented and trying to have more of a traditional life outside of art. So they don't need they need the extra money like we do, I guess. I don't know.
And that's why we hate them. No, just kidding.
So I told Shelley, I said, gosh, if I just hadn't got married, I could be such a better artist. Don't blame me. I'm like, no, I'm because it's remarkable, even though married and had kids, how much time I spent at the drawing table. I don't know that I would have spent any more time drawing if I didn't have those other responsibilities. I'd just have been doing the drawing at different times during the day, instead of you spend all day doing stuff with your kids or whatever. And then at night when everybody's asleep, you start drawing.
Mm-hmm.
So I probably would have got to bed a lot earlier, but. You've got this heavenly glow surrounding or coming from your light table. It's like you can't even tell you're drawing anything, and you're just going to go, oh, and present this art.
That's right.
Oh, I forgot. She's got that. I don't know. Well, it depends. Again, I'm looking at different artist interpretation. She has kind of a belt with a little skirt sometimes, and sometimes she doesn't. Did you stop reading comics when you started working in comics, or did you keep?
No, like I stopped like right before I moved out here, because there was a comic book shop that all the animators and mostly animators would go to at lunchtime. It was called House of Secrets. It was in Burbank, and I was realizing what. It was almost like a religious thing, and I said, "Why am I being a part of this cult?" And I realized I didn't even like half of the stuff that I was buying, and like giving away more. And I was just like, "Why am I wasting this money?" And also drawing them, too. And I'm like, okay, I don't have to keep supporting this. And I realized a lot of stuff I would get also would be from friends and, hey, did you get my latest book? Oh, I'll send you one. And I'm like, okay, now I got 2 copies of this thing.
Right.
So I just said, you know what? I'll just wait until my friends send me the ones they're working on. 'Cause that's all I mainly care about anyway.
Well, it's funny to me that how much when you're a regular reader and you got a lot of books that you're reading, you know, you have to have that time set aside in your, you know, routine, your daily routine or your weekly routine or whatever, and that takes up some of your entertainment time, I suppose. That some people would go and see movies instead or whatever, but that was the thing for me, was just finding the time to sit down and keep reading stuff.
Yeah.
And, you know, and then as we got more and more into the modern era, like, you know, the last 10 years, it became less and less interesting to me. And when I did read something, it was generally like an old reprint or something.
Yeah.
Um,
I would say most of my comics, like in my latter years of buying it, were just purely because of artists. It had nothing to do with writing. I didn't care about stories for a long, long time.
I was that way to a certain degree. I mean, I would never buy a comic, even when I was, you know, in my teenage years or older teenage years, because there were a few exceptions that I made, but I always, you know, I had to like the art or I wasn't going to buy the book.
Yeah.
Right. And I do that completely as an adult. You know, Alan Davis did a Kill Raven miniseries, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, Kill Raven, really? But because Alan Davis did it, I bought that thing, man. I was at CrossGen. I remember buying that and just thinking it was cool because it was Alan Davis, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I bought Excalibur, not because, you know, Chris Claremont was a writer, but because Alan Davis drew it.
Yeah.
So the only character, there's two characters, Captain America and Spider-Man, were probably the only ones that I ever bought, even as a kid, that wasn't somewhat art driven. I mean, I'd buy those characters, those books regardless. But everything else I bought, I always like, did I like the art? Did I not like the art? That's why my collection is so sporadic. You know, a lot of guys that collect, it's like they get the entire run of everything, right? That's part of the collection, right? But I would only buy the runs, like I'd only buy John Buscema Avengers, you know, or I would only buy you know, the Wrightson Swamp Thing issues or something like that. You know, it was never, I had to have the entire series. If someone took over the series that I didn't like, I was never committed again, except for Spidey and Cap. I was never so committed to any of the characters that I would buy them if I didn't like the art.
Yeah.
And I bought Ms. Marvel when it came out. And the only reason I did is because Buscema was drawing the book, at least for the first 4 issues.
And that cover was sexy.
Oh, the cover to what, Ms. Marvel #1?
Yeah.
From the 70s?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Romita, I think.
Yeah.
Yep. I remember when Nova came out.
Say again?
I said, I remember when Nova came out. It was about the same time. I want to say Buscema was doing the first couple issues. I may be wrong on that, though. I should probably look that up now that I brought it up. And I'm going to use my trusty Overstreet price guide here. All those people in the chat probably already know. Thanks, John. That's for that creative input. I'm not even going to put it up on screen. Let's see. Everett Todd says story first. That's all that matters. No, it's not all that matters because it's a comic book, man. The art and the story, they're supposed to work together to create the... Oh, look at this. Shelley just texted me. She says he turned in the rental car. She's at the airport. She says he's on the shuttle from the rental car place to the airport. She says on the shuttle by some teenagers who did not give me their seat. Darn kids.
That's our generation today.
Yep.
The future.
Danky Frankie says Volume 1 had Buscema and Sal were both in there for I can't remember what I was looking up now. What were we talking about?
Oh my goodness, you are old.
Dude, my wife distracted me and now I can't even remember what we were talking about.
How great an artist I am.
Yeah, that must have been it.
Yeah. And how you're been your favorite forever.
Yes, see, it's all coming back to me now. Let's see here. All right. Getting tired of looking. We'll take Danky Frankie's word for it. And let's see, she says, then there's a grown-up man with his sweats pulled up under his butt. I don't even know what that means. Oh, look at that. Are you putting a little background in there to shame me? Is that what you're doing?
I thought that's what we were doing.
I didn't know we were going to combine I didn't think we were combining the two.
Oh, I thought we were.
No, we're going to do a holiday special.
Okay, I'll make it snowing in the background and it doesn't have to connect. It's all good.
Oh man. Now let's see. John Byrne FF. There you go. There's someone that that was in the 80s, wasn't it? Because when I went to college, man, I didn't buy comics regularly. It was very sporadic, and I didn't start picking them up again until like 88, just before McFarlane took over Spider-Man. There you go. Jiminy Cricket's on my side. The only reason I bought that Killraven series was because Alan Davis drew it.
He could draw anything and I would buy it. I think he's literally incapable of doing bad drawings.
Let's see. Malin says, don't blame me for Hitler. Blame the art school that rejected him. Well, might be onto something there.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a decent point. He says, remember, the story is not the art long term. That's true. There it is. Big John drew Nova 1 and 2, and Sal took over. Yeah. I feel like I need to
surrender.
Oh. No. Well, see, now I feel guilty because you put the buildings and stuff in, and maybe I should have drawn one that matches yours. I can still do it, though. That's the beauty of me.
It's all good. Don't do that.
No.
No, I mean, it's okay that you're not putting in the full effort.
All right. No, I'm doing it. I'm
No,
doing
no,
it.
no, 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 no. Do
I'm doing
what your heart tells you to. What it
Yeah.
originally told you to.
My heart always tells me to take the path of least resistance.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I end up drawing twice. Yeah, okay, let me think here. All right, show me yours again, will you? So I
Nope.
can kind of
You
can I
got to
get a
struggle through this.
No, dude, show me the buildings again, how you got it set up so I can well, no, wait a minute. Which way are you going?
Oh, wait a minute. My bad. I showed you the reverse side.
Okay, all right. Lift it up just a little bit. Okay, so you're probably about right there. All right, I got it. So she can be on a higher building, I suppose. All right. See, this is what happened to me on that draw stream with Malin and Reenie. Changed my mind halfway through. That sounds like a big truck, man.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Paul Brillart says, if the art sucks, the story suffers, have to work together. I agree. And Dino Palazzo says, I'm going to go watch porn if nothing exciting happens.
Oh my goodness.
Wow. What?
Aaron, tweak your nipples.
This is exciting art action is what it is. See, the people are disappointed because they can't see what you're doing, David. That's the thing. You got to get one of these like desk cams.
Yeah, I know, right? But I show it periodically. Golly.
That's some crazy stuff going on right there. So, all right, here's the big question.
Spit it out.
Do you guys do real Christmas tree or do you have a fake one?
We have a fake one.
I just bought a fake one.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, I was kind of scared of the whole real one, even though I love the smell of them. But we have so many dogs, and I didn't want my dogs messing with it and peeing on it and all this other kind of crazy stuff. So I was like, no. So we got a real reef. So the smell is still here.
Well, we moved to Florida when I worked at CrossGen. The trees were so freaking expensive because they had to import them from, some other state that actually had, fir trees and stuff. And I mean, they were like super expensive. And I was like, I'm not spending that much money on a tree. So we went and got a fake one. and had it for years until some mice decided to nest in it out in our garage. And so then we got rid of it. And so I don't know, the last probably 10 years I've been getting real trees. And we finally decided to go back to the fake tree. And they're expensive too. This is a nice one though. Has like the lights, the LED lights already built in.
Mm-hmm.
So, very nice.
I'm going to ink this Frank Miller style.
Uh-oh.
Like high contrast.
Well, you know, it's Frank. It's Daredevil, I mean. So
yeah,
makes sense.
Hope it works. Oh my goodness.
We have faith in you. You know, it's so weird when you're doing just like a sketch like this, right? And you're not working from a script. It's like trying to figure out a pose or the situation to put the character in is difficult. I mean, it's when you have a script and you understand what the situation is and why this character is doing what they're doing, then you can, you put them in all different kind of camera angles and different kind of positions or whatever. But I always have a hard time when I'm doing a sketch to just sort of, or a commission or something, to get overly creative with my storytelling because I don't really have a story for the character. I don't even know if these two are going to go together. My Electra may be too big to match up with your Daredevil.
I told you, just do your own thing.
Well, I am now. You maybe redraw it, so.
Yeah. Dang it. Very first line I do sucks.
Well, wait, you're doing Frank Miller, so you should have some,
yeah,
some
exactly.
leeway
That's
there
leeway
with
there.
your technical.
Dang it.
Well, you're not starting over, are you?
No.
Oh, okay.
On the inking, I only just did one line with this crummy pen, and I shouldn't have. But oh well. Okay.
Evil One says my family's had the same Christmas tree for 20 years and it's great. No mice in our Christmas tree. Well, you know what I did that was stupid is occasionally I would be in the garage for something, working in the garage or whatever, and then I would forget to close the garage door at night. And I guess that was an invitation for mice to come in and hang out. So I guess it's really sort of my own fault. But you're like, you open up the box, you're like, what are all these little dried raisins in here? And you're like, wait a minute, what is this?
That's nasty.
No, it was, man. And they got into a ton of stuff. It wasn't just the Christmas tree. So I guess that made it easier for us to throw some stuff out that we probably should have thrown out anyway. I don't know. I think it was like, it might have been a couple of years ago now, but I remember Shelley getting up in the middle of the night and I hear this kind of half scream. She's like, it's like, I don't know, it was like 2 a.m. or something, right? She's like, Aaron, Aaron. I'm like, oh my gosh, what? So she says, she comes up into the bedroom. She goes, there's a mouse on the stove. And I just go, what do you want me to do about it? I went back to sleep. So it's like I'm going to run down there and catch it, And so she I guess she thought she saw it crawl down like inside the stove or something. And so she taped all the openings with duct tape so it couldn't get out. And then I was supposed to deal with it the next day. And I was like, I just called an exterminator and said, dude, come over here and get rid of these mice.
Thankful I didn't have to deal with that yet.
Do they have mice in New Mexico? They probably have like.
Oh yeah. We have these stray cats in our sewer over here.
Oh.
But they eat all the mice. So
there you go. That's a benefit right there.
Yeah.
You got scorpions?
Not that I've seen. I know they are out here, but I haven't dealt with them.
But you don't have them in your like house or anything like that, like roaches or anything. Because I don't know who was telling me that used to live in Phoenix, and they were like, they would get scorpions in their house, like like you get roaches or something in LA, and I was like, you got to be kidding me.
That's crazy.
Well, I know we moved to Florida. We had to. The first thing they told us we bought the house was like, you got to get yourself a bug guy, like Orkin or somebody like that to come out. It's like once every 2 weeks or whatever and spray it outside your house and in your house. So that's what they did. So you're on this like monthly, program or whatever. And we were on a first name basis with our bug guy, man.
What are they? The mafia out there? You have to get with our bug guy.
Well, it's like if you don't, you're going to be sorry. And because there's nothing but bugs out there. And so, but we never had roaches or anything in our house. Very rarely did a spider show up or anything like that. So it was worth it. We even got a bug guy out here now, which is kind of a waste of money, I think. We have spiders, but it's not like, it's not like they're crawling all over the place or anything. So my son and daughter-in-law call me up and they're like today and they're like, hey, you going to be around? I'm like, yeah. I thought we'd stop by for a little bit and whatever. And I'm like, yeah, that's great. Then they're like, you got any food? So I said, yeah. Had some leftovers. I made chicken parmesan last night that turned out really well. It was very good. And I said, yeah, I have some leftover chicken parmesan and then spaghetti and meatballs from a couple nights before. There's still some meatballs left. And they came and cleaned the fridge out. So I'm going to have to do something for dinner tonight.
That's awesome. At least you were there for him.
Yeah, my son's an engineer. It's like I should be going over to his house for free food.
No, but it's something special about mom and pop's food. Tastes
better.
True.
That's right. But see, then I get all the craps like, hey, did grandma make this? I'm like, no, grandma didn't make it. I made it. Tell you. See, it's not even just in the chat, but it's at home with my kids. I get no respect. I'm seriously the Rodney Dangerfield of comic art.
Hey, I get no respect.
That's right. Ooh. Citizen Ronan says he saw his first brown recluse spider this year. Did you see that when Frank Cho got bit by one? Now, he lives in like around Baltimore area in Maryland, or at least lives in Maryland. I don't know if he lives in Baltimore, but he got bit by one of those. And it had like this weird, really disgusting scar in his hand. I don't know if that goes away or what, but yeah, those brown recluses can be nasty, man.
Well, what did he say to the brown recluse that made him want to bite him?
No, I don't know.
You know, Frank Cho has a kind of reckless mouth.
He does. He'll get himself in trouble.
Always talking stuff.
Those things. The thing with the recluse spider that I don't get is like they live like in your closet and stuff. And it's like, what are they eating? It's not like there's flies and stuff that go into your closet that they, you know what I mean? It's like, how can they live like underneath your shoes and stuff in your closet? I mean, what are they eating? Unless they go out at night, you know, and then eat and come back during the day and, you know,
yeah,
hide out. I don't know. Now we had these like wolf spiders. They were called in Florida. They look kind of like tarantulas, but they're smaller.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't do anything except look, you know, kind of menacing. And I guess we got black widows around here, although I've never in my entire life seen one.
When I first moved out here, first thing I did was jump in the shower to take a shower.
Oh yeah.
And we had clean towels in our, you know, packed away in these boxes. And my wife goes, "Oh, the towels are over there." And I went to get one, and I was like rubbing myself off, and I felt something like in the towel, like it was rolling on me. I was like, "What the heck is it?"
Dude, no.
I thought it was lit, and then I like flicked it off. It was a black widow spider. I was like, "Ah!"
It didn't bite you?
No, it didn't. But it was all rolling on my chest and stuff like that. I think it liked it. You know?
Oh my gosh, black widow! Wow.
And it wasn't from here. It was from LA because, you know, Cali has a whole bunch of black widows out there.
Oh, do they really?
Oh yeah.
The only thing I ever saw was roaches, and I saw plenty of those.
Yeah.
We were filming in some, what do you want to call them? Rundown warehouse district in LA when there's plenty of those. Oh my gosh. That we had to turn like one floor of the, of this old warehouse into kind of a speakeasy bar from the 20s.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, the whole place was just full of rats. And they say that rats only grow, no matter where they're from, they only grow to be one size, whatever it is, their maximum size.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, man, these things freaking look like, you know, sea otters. They seem so huge. Just constantly crawling around in the garbage outside this building we were working in. And they were,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Guerrilla filmmaking at its finest. We had these fire ants in Florida that you get these little hills in your backyard that they would make. And so you had to stay on top of it because you let your kids out, you know, in your yard. You had to make sure that there was no fire ant hills out there that they would, you know, stick their foot into.
Yeah.
Those things bite and they sting. And
I had my fair share of those bites.
well, we had a hurricane there when we were there. We had several actually, but our back fence blew over Actually, it was our neighbor's fence, but it blew into our yard and crushed a flower bed. So Shelley's like, get out there and move that fence. So I'm out there in the hurricane, trying to push this fence over back into our neighbor's yard. And then neighbor on the right, this is our backyard, guy behind us. And then we had somebody to the side of us, and they had this white vinyl fence, but one of the sections of that blew over. And she thought it was like, Shelley was like, oh, it's like recreational, now it's my turn to go out in the hurricane, right? And so she goes out there to help fix this fence, this vinyl fence. And there's like flooding, not flooding, but there's like big puddles of water out there kind of pooling in our backyard. And she steps in this one that's pretty deep, but it also was a fire ant hill.
Oh.
So she's out there in a hurricane. She actually gets like bit by a bunch of fire ants during a hurricane. Only Shelley could pull that off. Because she was constantly
Shelley showtime.
Yeah, she was constantly getting bit by everything in Florida. And I'm like, what are you talking about? She goes, oh, the mosquitoes are eating me alive. And I'm like, they're not bothering me. So between the humidity and the insects and, gators and giant frogs and turtles, and she wasn't a big fan.
I don't blame her.
Good. Aldeon, see, that's why you tune into this show, because you get educated. It says fire ants bite and then spray poison into the bite. That's nice. Let's see. Old man says, I'm afraid to go under the house because of brown recluse spiders. I have no bugs in the house, but there are a ton of spiders under it. Ugh. I used to have to go under our house with my dad to wrap pipes and stuff with insulation during winter, before winter hit. And there was not a lot of room under there. We had maybe 3 feet, if that, so you're crawling around there in your belly, and it's dark, and it was kind of an adventure, but man, I'm not as brave as I was when I was a kid, or maybe I was just stupid when I was a kid. But this house we live in now has about 4 feet clearance underneath it. So you don't have to crawl. I mean, you have to stoop and all that kind of stuff, but at least you're not crawling around in this and just waiting for something to climb on you and you can't get it off you kind of thing. So but yeah, I don't spend quite as much time underneath my house as my dad did when but he did everything. He was one of those guys that literally, if you wanted to remodel the house, he did it. We need to rewire this stuff. He would do it. I gotta lay some tile. Just I hire people to do that, or it doesn't get.
I think that's our problem, is that we're the generation where we hire people to do this stuff.
Yep. I do wish I was more handy, but I just don't really have any interest in it. Some people are really into that, and they like building and fixing stuff. Not me. But you don't really value it until you're a homeowner, and then you're like, man, I could save so much money if I could do this myself.
What'd you call me?
Homeowner.
Oh.
Homeowner.
Gotcha.
All right, so she's coming along again. I think she's gonna tower over your Daredevil. I think I drew her too big.
I don't think you did.
All right. There's Evil One. Aaron's dad sounds like my dad. And you know, that's really true, Evil One, because your dad told you to quit sending me super chats because all you're doing is making me rich. That's exactly something my dad would have said. Okay. No, you're all right. I'm good. I'm good. She can be just slightly behind him, I guess. On the Citizen Ronan says, I do everything myself and almost everything at everybody in my family's houses. You see, that's what happens when you're handy. It's like everybody calls you. When my dad was still alive and healthy, and Shelley and I first got married, I'd always call him up and go, yeah, you know, I'm thinking about retiling the bathroom. I said, yeah, I think I'll call somebody up, get a quote. And he'd like, forget it. We're doing it. I'll be right over, you know? And that's how I'd always sucker him into coming over. And, but I'd always help him. And it's like, but it never stuck with me. You know, that sort of, that knowledge of how to do this stuff just did not stay with me. I had this friend in college. My gosh, he's just like, he actually has become a pretty famous and well-liked Power Rangers producer. Like he was at San Diego several years ago as on the Power Rangers panel and stuff. So, you know, within the circles of people that are into Power Rangers, he's, you know, pretty well known, pretty popular, well-liked, whatever, or his versions of the Power Rangers are. But he was, my gosh, he was incredibly handy. He went up and stayed at with his parents and him over Thanksgiving one year rather than, you know, fly home. And because they were up in, I guess they were up in Northern California, but so it was a couple hour drive, but from LA. But I stayed in this guest house that he built. I mean, he built did the wiring and everything. I was like, are you kidding me? And then he built this. He built a boom, and it had to be like, you probably put you up in the air, probably 20 feet. Mm-hmm. And he built it on this counterbalance, right? So I remember he was one summer, he was like house sitting on Fraternity Row, like one of the houses where, because everybody's, I guess they hire house sitters to watch the houses while everybody's gone on summer vacation.
Yeah.
So I go over there and he's working on this thing. And so it literally, I mean, it's hand controlled, right? So like a teeter totter, but it was, oh my gosh, it was so smooth. And you get in the chair and he had like a tripod thing attachment there for the camera. So you could sit in the chair basically and, you know, shoot your movie camera. And so we'd get in this thing and you could just like, and the guy that was controlling it, you know, it was just so smooth in the way he had counterbalanced it that you could actually push a full weight guy up in there and like it was nothing, you know, and kind of spin it around and stuff. And he built this thing and it was all out of metal. He did all the welding and stuff himself. And he built a dolly and just a bunch of, you know, stuff that would all break down and fit into this van. And he actually had like low budget studio places that would rent the van from him to use this stuff that he built.
Dang.
It was nuts. And I was like, why can't I do that?
That part of our toxic masculinity didn't kick in.
I guess not. The funny thing is the guy ended up being gay and he was still like this, you know, manly handy dude. But I guess I shouldn't stereotype like that. But let's see. Evil One says, but then my dad buys me a 1K comic book cover for Christmas, so he can't complain. Well, I can tell you one thing, Evil One. My dad never never bought me a 1K. He thought all of this was just, you know, comics and stuff was stupid. He thought my art, he didn't get it at all until I started making more money than he did. And then he was like, okay. I guess it's all right. My mom always supported me though, and that's why I, ended up being able to pursue film and comics and all that and art because my dad would have I'd be a
And
plumber
that's why
right
she
now.
gets to live with you right now.
That's right. I would be a plumber right now if my dad had his way, which actually would not be a bad, it's a hard profession, but it would be a good paying profession. Okay, so I'm still penciling.
Oh, I thought you were inking already.
No, I redrew the thing. So. Hey, it's all just an exercise and good fun, right?
Okay.
It's not a competition.
Pardon me.
You're pardoned. All right, now I'm inking. I don't know if I'm going to do Frank Miller, though. Thanks for joining us, Christina. Appreciate it. I will get in touch with you about that trading card tomorrow. Anyway, has Aaron Lepresti heard about no cover yet? Not sure if I know what that means. Aaron's plan was foiled. David is now in the lead. I know.
I would have still been in the lead anyway. I gave him a head start and I was already catching up.
I would be done right now if I didn't redraw my piece.
You most certainly would not.
I would be.
No,
I was done penciling it, man. I was done penciling it.
I would have been in your head that whole time.
Oh my gosh, here we go again. Well, see, it was your idea to do, what were we going to do, a Spider-Man Venom piece?
Yeah.
As like a connecting... Of course, I'd be doing Venom. Excuse me. Are you doing red Daredevil or yellow Daredevil?
Oh, red.
I used to think yellow Daredevil was stupid, and then we had red Daredevil for so long. It was kind of like yellow Daredevil was kind of like a breath of fresh air.
But now She-Hulk went and ruined it.
I did not watch one episode, but I know that was what everybody was saying. Well, the costume, I mean, I watched the original Daredevil series that was on Netflix. And other than being like incredibly violent, I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
But from what I saw, what's that?
Shouldn't it be incredibly violent, though?
Well, if you're doing Frank Miller's Daredevil, yes, it should be. And I guess that's probably what everybody's inspiration is, right? Because no one really cares about Daredevil pre-Miller.
Yep.
Uh-oh, Shelley's calling. Time to spice the show up. Hey, you're live on the air.
Hi, I am I'm glad I'm live there because I ain't live here.
What? Are you in the airport now?
I'm at the airport. I'm at the gate finally. My flight doesn't leave till 9:48 now, so woo, I'll get into San Antonio at 12:45 a.m. Oh, that's good.
So
yeah.
So you had some rude kids on the bus that wouldn't give you their seat.
Right, but their 14-foot tall father and his wife took my luggage down and then walked me all the way to Southwest. So I must be looking pretty darn haggard. But it was super. I was like, and she said, "Oh, they're flying to Sacramento and then in Portland in January." So I started wondering, like, what if he's an NBA player? Because he was super tall. So they kind of redeemed themselves.
I'm surprised you didn't ask him. Like, dude, you're like 7 foot tall, man.
I know that would be so like me, but I am a little haggard. Like I said, oh man.
All right. Well, evil
for a wheelchair.
Evil one says Shelley sounds stressed. Citizen Ronan says, "Hail, Shelley."
No, I'm not.
We love you, Shelley.
Really worn out.
David sends his love.
Hi, David. I'm just tired. I slept okay last night, but it was a long day. I got on campus like over an hour before the show started, and then went back to her apartment so she could work on finals and lay down in her bed and chilled for a while, and then here I am. So then I almost walked off with the car keys to the rental car. That would have been brilliant.
That would have been funny until you got charged for it.
Yeah, it would have been so me on top of it. But anyway, there's a million people here, and they don't look happy.
No one's happy at the airport. Why would you be happy at the airport?
I don't know.
So it's 8:12 there right now.
I don't know. Probably
7:12 here, so it must be 8:12 there.
The car at 7:30.
Okay. So you still have an hour before your plane leaves?
Yeah. I'm boarding in an hour and 4 minutes.
All right, but who's counting?
Right. If I could just find a place to sit down and get a beer, then I'd be happy, Shelley.
Let's see. Good. Aldion says, "Good to hear, Shelley." Marcus Killigrew, "Traveling can be tough as long as you get home safe, Shelley. That's all that matters." There you go.
Well, we'll see by next weekend.
Citizen Ronan says, "Fireball is a great traveling companion."
Ooh, let's see. Oh, everything is just packed. Oh my gosh. If I could even find an empty seat to sit down, that would be nice. But people are boarding. I wonder where they're going. Oh, well. Hold on. Oh, no. Ooh. All right. Well, I just want to call and tell everybody hi.
All right. Well, it has been noted, and they've heard you, and they send you support. And Dino Palazzo says, "Shelley looking for a beer? Shocker." You can't. You see, and Dino, he takes shots at everybody. He doesn't.
But he's right. He's so right.
Can't blow up someone when they tell the truth, right? So
exactly.
All right.
So yeah, I should get to Brian's by about 1 a.m.
Sounds like fun.
Which will be, I think, 11 for you.
Yeah, go ahead and text me when you land safely or whatever, or get to his house.
Okay. All right.
All right. Thanks a lot. Love you. See you. Bye. There it is, you guys. Live Shelley traveling update. Thank you, Aldion. Praying for Shelley's safe journey. Appreciate that. Evil One says the show got better instantly once Shelley arrived. Here, let me help you out with that. Okay. Are you almost done?
Yep. I'm going to do a black background because I'm going to put snow in there.
Gosh, look at you, man. You're just like rubbing it in.
I had a terrible joke right then, but I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, I tend to walk into that stuff pretty regularly. Yeah, I don't know. I'm still not happy with this. This is like, draw on demand, man. It's tough. It's tough, I tell you. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying
No more do-overs.
No, I'm not. We're getting near the time limit for my ability to continue to host.
How long have we been on?
Well, you came on late, so almost 2 hours. I've been on for 2 hours and 15.
You have limited time to be on here?
No.
Oh.
I have limited time that I can tolerate being on here.
Oh.
You can start seeing when the numbers start dropping and the chat gets restless and you're like, I think I've gone over time.
Gotcha.
Yeah, what do we got here? This is still a family show, David, so I guess he's talking about your joke that you didn't say. Now back to the suckage, says Evil One. See, that's what I'm talking about. Look at this. It looks like Aaron's Electra is taking an angry dump. I don't think that's what it looks like at all. Uh-oh. Now look at this. Now I'm in trouble. Electra's weapon is a SAI, S-A-I?
Yeah.
Not a sword.
Yeah.
Whatever. Look at how much heat I'm taking.
Woo. I get no respect.
Well, doesn't she have those like little, those short little Japanese sword things? I mean, I don't know. I'm not Frank Miller, I didn't go back and do my, research before I. This was David's idea. I'm a victim.
Hey, I thought I would be giving you a softball by saying, hey, do Electra because you're so good with doing women and Wonder Woman and Supergirl and whomever else. So,
Well,
do Electra. But it sounds like you're.
I'm not choking. Look at there's an ethnic, cultural sort of thing here that you have to be aware of, because she's like, she's like sort of like a samurai type thing, isn't she? Isn't that her shtick?
Ninja
Assassin, right? But it's Japanese culture, right? Or Daredevil is just, Bill Everett culture,
Yeah.
I think I'm going to do a show on the best fast food places to eat at.
Say that again?
I said, I think I'm going to do a show on the best fast food places to eat at.
Yeah.
I got a feeling I'm going to be doing fast food tonight. Since
go.
My kids destroyed my supply of leftovers.
You should get on that bandwagon and start doing like AMSR videos while you're at fast food, just smacking on a burger.
Yeah, I'd probably get more views.
Yep.
Aaron, eating live at McDonald's. Although you would have to
You'll have a bunch of guys asking you to smack louder.
I haven't had a McDonald's. I haven't had a McDonald's hamburger in like ages. I think the last thing I had at McDonald's was like a one of those McSausage sandwich, breakfast sandwich things, egg McMuffin or whatever they're called.
Yeah. Last time I had McDonald's, almost ended up in the hospital.
Now, come on, seriously?
I'm serious, it's a heart attack. Yep. The stuff is so salty, it made my blood pressure just go through the roof.
Did it really?
Yeah.
I figure, I've heard stuff like that over long term, eating it for a long time, but just one.
That's why I don't eat it no more. I said, I can't do it.
That's funny. I mean, it's not funny, but I guess the fact that you lived through it and we can joke about it now makes it funny, but.
Yeah.
Now you didn't like come and get you in an ambulance while you were at McDonald's, did they?
No.
I
made it home and
you made it home. You're like, man, I don't feel good. Kind of thing.
I had to double up on my blood pressure medicine. It was crazy.
Just from one Big Mac? What did you have?
It was just one of their regular double cheeseburgers. I was like, ugh. It was just too much. And their fries are salty as hell. Everything, that's what you're attracted to. It's not the actual food. It's the salt. Because they're like chicken sandwiches and all that kind of stuff. It doesn't taste like chicken. It tastes like some processed something, but you're just attracted to the salt. So I'm like, nah, all right. I don't need it.
Well, I guess I won't go to Mac's tonight then. No, I wouldn't go there anyway, but
you got Five Guys out there?
Yeah.
That's real beef. They make good burgers.
Yeah, but it's not
eating their stuff. I take it easy on their fries, their seasoned fries.
It's not close enough though. See, that's the thing. It's like, how far do you want to drive for? I got Carl's Jr., which I actually like. Now, a lot of people are kind of mixed on Carl's Jr., but I think their hamburgers are pretty good. Known as Hardee's in other parts of the country.
Yeah. But, they went through different owners too, and they get kind of funky playing with their processed meat instead of it being real.
Wendy's is supposed to have like real meat, right?
Say again?
Wendy's is supposed to have real.
Oh, yeah. That's what they tout. It's 100% pure beef. And you don't see commercials with the other groups saying 100%. They don't do that because they can't.
Now see, Malin would go Taco Bell all the way.
Ugh, Taco hell. That stuff isn't the Taco Bell that we had when we were coming up.
That's probably true.
See, I'm already sounding like an old ass man.
Yeah, and it's not just me, man. You're just as guilty as I am.
Yeah. What do you guys?
Well, no, wait a minute here. So you're gonna black all that in? Seriously?
Yeah. It's Frank Miller style.
You're not gonna have any ink left in that pen.
I got others.
I used to think you're supposed to throw these pens away. So I was throwing them away when they ran out of ink until Tim Townsend informed me that I was actually wasting a ton of money, that they were actually refillable. I was like, oh, oops.
But do they have changeable nibs? Because I beat my nibs up.
Yeah, they do. I've got a whole bag of them.
Oh, good.
So this has like, we're doing snow. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah.
All right. I haven't done my lighting effect. I may wait and see what you do.
I have a moon behind Dee Dee's head.
So are you doing any underlighting though from like the street below, or are you just using that moon as the?
A little bit. The ambient light, yeah.
I don't like putting like heavy shadows on female figures. I just don't like doing it. So my daughter turned me on to Mod Pizza, like, I don't know, a year or two ago. I used to go like to Papa Murphy's all the time and just you do the take and bake stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But these Mod pizzas are pretty freaking awesome. I mean, you know, build your own pizza and something kind of appealing about that. So thin crust, so I guess they're probably not as heavy in the calories as some of the others. So there's Aldion.
What was that?
Wait a minute. John Malin says ink splatter is the lens flare for anchors. It's trash. I don't know. He must be arguing with someone in the. Oh, I see. Evil One said, "Do some splatter just to piss off John." And then John responds, "Ink splatter in the lens is the lens flare for anchors. It's trash."
I like splatter and lens flares. What's the matter with you, John?
You know, I never did any of that stuff until Malin brought it up and how much he hated it. And then I was like, I should look into this. And I've actually used now ink splatters on some Wraith of God stuff, but I think it feels kind of appropriate considering it's this kind of gritty Western kind of feel to it. And it's usually like right in the middle of he's doing like some sort of smoke screen or he's riding his horse, and you know, so it kind of makes sense. But
I think I got some ink splatter in Bass Reeves quite a bit.
There you go. I don't know, John. Did you have a bad experience with ink splatter? What's the story behind the story?
He's all I got in my mouth.
Oh, man. You're asking for it now. Oh.
I'm sorry, John. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're all like, sorry, John. Well, I know it was kind of overused, right? Wasn't it? Didn't like Jay Lee use it constantly in the 90s on everything? And
yes, he did.
I mean, I didn't even use white splatter very much. I just used, I used it to create star fields the old fashioned way, right? Yeah. But I was like, if I did black ink splatter, it's like that's the messiest thing in the world. So, but I have kind of figured out how to do it judiciously without making a huge mess. So, but I use it, like I said, I use it sparingly. I don't, but But it is kind of cool. It's kind of like a new toy if you've never used it before. And I really hadn't even thought about it until Malin brought it up. So,
I mean,
it's your fault, John.
It puts grit in the environment that you're drawing
Yeah.
if it calls for it.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Now I'm like curious. I gotta dig up my stuff to see if it sucks. Does it really suck?
Yeah.
John Malin's making me second guess myself now.
Yeah, see, that's all part of his master plan. See, now he's inside your head.
Yeah.
So
Let me see.
Citizen Rona says the splatter was during some spirited Turkish oil wrestling. Oh, now they're going after John in the chat. See,
I got some right here.
all right. Let's see. All right, Malin, what do you think of this?
This bottle's getting.
Well, no, but that makes sense, right? Because the bottle, you just like it's a different way to.
Yeah, and water and alcohol's coming out of it, and
Is it? Okay.
Man, what you talking about, John? Hold on. I think I did it again. Look at this. This guy gets shot in the chest.
Well, that's not splatter though. That's white splatter as opposed to black.
I'll show you.
That makes sense.
I'll show you some black splatter.
But see, there you go. See, Malin's, he's okay with it because he says that works. So what he's saying, I think, John, I don't want to put words in your mouth. What you're saying is just to sort of use it to make something look quote unquote cool, as opposed to using it for a practical effect. That's what he has a problem with, is people just throwing it in there for no purpose.
Oh, okay.
So
I was seriously like, oh man, I suck like nobody. Look at this. I went crazy with the splatter on this one. It's not that crazy, but I was trying to capture like light going across this guy's face because he's in this stagecoach. But I did like a noir thing across his eyes.
So you're like using the splatter to create like a gray shadow effect?
Yeah.
Yeah, but see, that's using it with a purpose. I mean, Malin's got to be okay with that. If you're using it with a purpose, right?
Yeah.
Evil One says, for $2, thank you, Evil One. There's my dog showing his appreciation. My pro artist friend used his blood for splatter. Ew.
I have a friend that was doing blood art.
Oh,
Kiyoshi
really?
Nakazawa. He's crazy. I love him though.
But see, you're using the splatter there as kind of a gray effect, right?
Yeah.
I like it. So Malin's on board. He says yes, so he's on board with it.
All right.
You're Malin approved. So
thank you, Jim. I appreciate it.
All right. So now we all feel better. I got to figure out what I'm going to do with my lighting effect now. Because if you're going like all like Frank Miller black shadows on everything, it's like.
Yep. I'll show some Bass Reeves stuff so you could catch up a little.
Dude, I'm done with the drawing. I just have to figure out what I'm going to do with the lighting.
Uh-huh.
Look at that. Look at it.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. Yeah. All right. Let me. Okay, there you go. See, I want to look at this too, though, so it doesn't really allow me to catch up. Is this the stuff you're saying was kind of like your Frank Miller stuff?
Yeah,
A lot of the black and
it's going to get even crazier towards the parts that I'm working on now.
I love that. That is really cool, man. Shelley wants me to show the likeness that she thought looked like you in my book. I already did, Shelley. Right off the top of the show, I got him. Oh, your horse cracks me up, man.
Yeah.
I love that.
You gotta have character too.
Yeah, exactly.
The same intensity as Bass. He shot me.
Oh, look at that lighting on those guys' faces. That's great.
Oh, you like that?
Yeah, let's see that again. Right there in the middle. Yeah. It's cool. Very nice.
There you go. There's a tease.
All right. Evil One says, loving the raw Bass Reeves pages, David.
Thank you. Thank
All
you.
right.
It's going to be a nice collected book.
Yeah, I got the hardcover, man. So I dissed you on your cover. I got the Andrew Robinson.
He did such an awesome job.
I know, it was a great paint. I want to get him to do something for me, man. That was really nice.
I'm sure he'd do it.
I'm going to start on the bricks, kind of warm myself up a little bit here before I start putting heavy shadows on her. See, Golden, he'd go in there and he'd put the shadows in. He wouldn't care. He'd say, no, I'm putting the shadows in, man.
Can you believe there's people that hate Golden?
You're joking, right? No one hates Golden.
Yeah.
Well, what do they say? Art is subjective, right?
Not on this case. He is.
Hang on, my mom's freaking out. I'll be right back.
Alrighty. If I didn't say hey to everybody, I'm saying it now. Hello, everybody in the chat. Hope everybody's doing well. Got some cool stuff on the way. Bass Reeves, West of Hell. Go check that out on In Demand on Indiegogo. I think they did a second campaign. It's going now on Kickstarter. Check that out if you'd like. And if you're so kind, please share it around. Let people know. It's going to be a great book about a real life guy who is incredibly awesome. More stuff will be coming out by the Legence Arts team after this book. They got some really great things on the horizon. So please check that out and pick this book up. Pick up Aaron's book. Support all these wonderful creator-owned books. And he's back.
Let me tell you, when you live with a 9-year-old woman, no, seriously, you know what she did?
What
I hear her yell, "Oh my gosh!" And I'm like, "Holy crap! What happened? The dog die?" You know? She's like, "I forgot I had groceries delivered at 7:00." I'm like, "Okay." So there's like 2 bags of groceries sitting out on our porch. It's like 30 degrees out there, so it's not like they're melting in the sun.
Yeah.
And so I went and got the groceries. Emergency averted.
There you go.
That's the thing with my mom, though. I can never tell if something is really serious or if she's just, overreacting to something. But she had to get her croissants, and so now she has them. So all's good in the world.
There you go. Hey, everybody has their thing.
That's right. That's right. Quote, Louis Bright Raven says, now you don't have to go out to eat. She brought you food to cook. Well, I got food to cook down there. I just don't want to do it. If you're in Orlando, he said you'd have about 7 minutes to get them inside before they spoil or got devoured by fire ants. That is the truth. All right. I heard you talking about the campaigns. Let's take a quick look. Let's see, where is it? There it is. I came somewhat prepared to do this, which is better than most of the time with me. All right, there it is. That's David Williams and Kevin Grievous's Bass Reeves West of Hell campaign from Allegiant Arts. Come on, we're only at 25,929. Let's get this up there. This is going to be killer. There's some David Williams art there. There's the David Williams cover for the soft cover, and then the Andrew Robinson painted cover for the hardcover edition. And your prints and different things, and there's some artwork. So the link for this campaign is in the description of this video. It hasn't been shadow banned yet, so you can actually find it just by looking it up on Indiegogo.
Man, you just put it out into the ether. Now it's going to get shadow banned.
That's right, exactly. Now oh, wait a minute, that guy's Comics Cade, shadow ban that. All right, so there's David's campaign. I'd encourage you all to check that out. Let's see where we're at with the Wraith of God these days. There it is. Wraith of God Blood Hunters. Of course, you have the 4 cover options available to you. The Bisley cover, the Wraparound Lopresti cover, that's me, the Tales of Suspense cover by me, and the Tomb of Dracula tribute, #1 tribute cover by me. So you have 4 cover options there. This book is going to be 100 pages. You got Wraith of God story, which can be about 51 pages, I think, and then about an 18-page Garbage Man story, another 15 pages of Kit Carter, and also a nightclub story in there that's going to bring the whole book to like 100 pages. So it's a great value. You can order it with the Roughs Volume 2, which basically shows you the Roughs. I did layouts for the pages for the book. 48 of them will be in there. It's a 48-page book, signed and numbered. So these are limited edition, these Wraith of God Roughs books. So whenever I find out what the number is that people ordered, that's kind of what I order from the printer with a little bit extra just in case they get damaged. So these are signed and numbered. So they're only $15. So that's a good value there too as well. That's the Merv the Astro Chimp card I was talking about. That's also known as a Phil Diaz card. And I finished the back of that. So it's ready to go to the press. I just got to get the back proofread, which I'll get done tomorrow. And then that's going to the printers because I want to get some of this stuff done before the end of the year. Hats have already been sent in. We'll be shipping those when we get them back. And I'm told it'll probably just be a couple weeks. So probably just right after Christmas that the hats come in, and then I'll be able to start shipping those out with the shot glasses. T-shirts are going to end pretty soon. So if you want to get a shirt, make sure you get in there soon. We have the Dale Keown werewolf, bloody werewolf shirt, the two color versions on the Garbage Man, and then of course the Wraith of God t-shirt as well. Baseball caps, like I said, those have been sent in along with the beanies. We do have some Garbage Man trade paperbacks still available. So a lot of stuff's on this campaign, a lot of good stuff. So you want to check that out. The link is in the description of this video. So there you go. You're wishing you hadn't colored that. You went all black with that Daredevil now, aren't you?
Nope. I'm perfectly happy with it. It looks awesome.
Well, I'm not saying it doesn't look awesome, but just a lot of extra work, man.
Oh.
All right. Well, I'm going to put the heavy shadow on Elektra just so I can fit in. Look at this weird mix of my black marker and India ink when I'm filling in my Husker. Give me that back. Just walked off with my pencil. Get out of here. Kidding me? Doesn't get enough to eat. He has to eat my blue pencil. Jeez.
He's all tastes like chicken.
It all does to him. Looks like some stuff is easier to fill in with a marker, and then you get like a huge wide open space, and you're like, I'm getting my brush out and I'm filling that in with the brush. Do you do that, or you just do all
Superman story that Adam Hughes did?
Which one?
It's like he's fighting some like kind of space beast, and he's out in outer space or something like that. I can't even remember how. I just remember certain. But I know what he was filling that stuff in was marker. It's like this stuff, you know. Yeah. I could just tell the way how it lays on the paper.
Right.
And,
well, I saw the originals to his Captain America's World War II story he did.
Uh-huh.
And that was all marker.
Yeah.
It was funny because I asked him about that specifically because you look at it and you don't think much of it, but when you see the originals, they're pretty loose.
Yeah.
And I asked him about that, and he's just like, hey, man, my eyesight's getting so bad. I can't do that, fine detail work anymore. I was like, yeah, dude, join the club. So, but I've never, some people gripe a lot about anything, but I won't name the artist, but really spent a lot of time griping about you shouldn't trust these Copic markers. Markers always fade, blah, blah, blah. And because this artist was pushing original watercolor commissions, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that was superior and all this kind of stuff. And I don't know, man. I have not seen in 20 some years of using these. I haven't seen them fade at all. Have you?
Nope.
I haven't either.
I mean, why are people putting the artwork out in the sun?
They shouldn't be.
I mean, most collectors put this stuff away in a portfolio.
Right. I mean, some people frame it.
Put their cherry pieces up on the wall, but by and large, where they have their whole big collection, it either goes in some shelf somewhere away because they're hiding it like they're Gollum. The precious is mine.
I'm not sharing it with anybody.
Exactly. And so it's preserved, so it's not going to fade like how those markers from the late 80s and 70s that say maybe Gil Kane was inking with, or felt pins that he was inking with. That's different.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, back then they weren't. I mean, they weren't even pushing those things as
Art.
archival, right? They were just like those
It was
Niji
production art.
stylists. Yeah, those Niji stylists were the worst. I mean, they would fade within a couple months.
Yeah.
And we used to use those in commercial art all the time. But again, you're doing like storyboards and stuff with them, so you don't give a rip.
Yeah.
But I think the market became pretty aware pretty quickly that, you know, artists, if you're going to use these, if you're going to produce pens like this, people, they want markers that are going to not fade.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we've got. And I think, you know, again, the formula must be pretty good because I have not had any trouble with them. And you should never hang up your artwork or your posters or anything in direct sunlight.
Yeah. Also, they have frames with certain UV protection too, just in case.
Yep. A UV glass on there.
I think some an acquaintance of mine had like an Alex Toth piece, and like it's disappeared.
Yeah, because he's probably using those crappy markers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's my saddest story. Is had this we had the studio in Portland, Studiosaurus, like in the 90s, and we put up this big 3 sheets of white cardboard, and when anybody came into town for a show or whatever, we'd have them come to the studio and have them draw on the board, right?
Mm-hmm.
And most people were smart, like, you know, Arthur Adams and people like that. They were like, they didn't put anything on there that would be worth of any value. They do like self-portraits or whatever. But Mignola went in there and unfortunately used a brown Niji stylist and drew this. It had to have been probably 2.5, 3 feet tall Hellboy piece. I mean, it was freaking amazing. And I still have the board. It's like completely disappeared.
Wow.
Because I was thinking, I never would have, you know, like sold it. But I was thinking I could sell this in like do the auction, you know, for, you know, a charity auction or something.
Mm.
And everybody would be cool with that, right? Because I didn't know what I was going to do with it. It's so big in 3 pieces. And it was just like, but the one piece that would have probably brought in thousands of dollars just totally disappeared.
Man, he's still alive. Get him to go over the art.
Yeah, I'm sure he'd be more than happy to. Yeah, we had Kevin Nolan on there, and I was hoping, he'll do something cool, and he did a self-portrait, and then Arthur Adams. And Arthur Adams did a self-portrait, and you're like, you guys. And
you're like, you could have at least did me Gumby.
Yeah, exactly, man. It's like, what are you doing? And then Dan Jurgens did Superman. But then I guess, I don't know if Ron Friends had a problem with Dan Jurgens or not, but he drew like this picture of himself bowing before Jurgens' Superman saying, "I'm not worthy." But he meant it was very sarcastic, you know?
Oh, wow.
So I don't know if there was something going on there, but so that was kind of funny. And that was a nice piece. But, you know, for the most part, everybody in our studio did nice pieces on there, right? Because we're trying to inspire everybody that came in to do nice pieces, and they weren't having it. They figured we were probably up to no good.
Explain, why did all of these big name people come to you guys' studio?
Because we were the only show in town. I don't know. Because I would arrange it. I mean, I knew these guys, right? And so what we do is
I'm not saying because they shouldn't. You just have to explain why these guys were coming there.
Well, because we told the guy that put on the show, we said, look, we'll throw a party, a pre-show party.
Yeah.
You know, like Friday night or Saturday night before the show is always a one-day show.
Mm-hmm.
And, so we'll pay for everything. And we'll just have it at our studio. And so that's what we did.
Oh, okay. That's awesome. Yeah, we were the only show in town.
That's right, man.
Coolest guys on the block.
That's right. So yeah, it was cool, but the good old days.
Yep.
Now those guys probably wouldn't. I said now those guys wouldn't be caught dead talking to me, probably.
They're like, ew. We don't know Aaron LaPresta.
The guy's toxic, man.
I'm going to do something crazy.
Well, hey.
It may not work.
Well, if it doesn't, everybody will see what not to do in the future. Uh-oh. See, that's what we had about 100 people on here, and then it dropped in half. And Ethan is streaming against me again. He's broken into my time slot.
Yeah. He said, "We're going where the real fun is at."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Aldion says David Williams' drawing is hot.
Ow. He's right. He's right. It burns us precious.
Aldion says he wants a Phil Diaz card. They'll be available $5 a piece, probably in January sometime. I'll put them up. Whatever is not being claimed by the early sign up people. So, speaking of Phil Diaz, there he is, screaming Bisley. He's a big Bisley fan. What's that? I don't even know how to pronounce this, so you have to forgive me. Borovoje Gribic. Borovoje Gribic. Forgive me if I butchered that. Will you do some more obscure characters, maybe 3 witches from the Witching Hour or something like that? All right, next time. I actually kind of do like the obscure characters. There you go. I agree. Let's blame EVS. He forgives me for butchering his name. Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, there is going to be a Wraith of God art contest. Probably right after Christmas, I'll get it organized and we'll. Because remember, this is a 100-page book, so the campaign's going to be open for a while yet as I'm working on it. But Shelley said, we should do it. And so, when Shelley talks, people listen. Especially me. The wrath of Shelley is not to be trifled with. What are you doing to your picture that's going to ruin it?
You don't worry about that.
Worry about ruining your own picture.
That's right. And here we go.
Wait a minute, you got to put splatter on there? Uh-oh, you're taping something? You are. You're taping something off. Man, I just refilled this pen and it's running out of ink.
Yeah.
I blame you. Shelley, nothing Shelley loves more than the sound of tape screeching.
What was that?
So there's nothing Shelley loves more than the sound of tape screeching when you.
Oh. I don't want to know why.
Well, packing tape is pretty bad.
All right.
I want to know what you're doing.
I knew it. Ah!
Did you ruin it?
Not yet. These darn things don't last for no amount of time.
Dude, I'm on my second drawing and I'm going to finish before you. Yeah, I'm like minutes from being done. Mainly because my marker is running out, but what did I do with that? Excuse me. Louis Bright Raven says David is practicing artistic alchemy. That's exactly what he's doing. Shelley said she just laughed out loud at the airport. So now she's got people looking at her.
They're laughing because they want to know because she has an infectious laugh.
Mm-hmm. Look at that. Who'd have thunk said, hey, I stayed here in spite of EVS going live. I'll watch him later. Hail Aaron and David. Thank you.
Very kind of you. Very kind.
All right, I think I'm done with mine, or at least all I'm going to talk myself into doing. Although I just found a pen with some ink in it, so maybe I can finish this now. Oh, that's full of ink. Wow. All right. Got any Christmas movies or shows you guys regularly watch, like traditionally?
No.
Not even like The Grinch or anything like that?
No.
Oh,
I
dude,
used
that's
to watch what was that Arnold Schwarzenegger one with Sinbad? Where he,
Are you kidding me? Where he's trying to find that toy?
yeah, that movie's funny.
Oh man, dude, don't give up your day job and become a film critic. All right. Yeah. The one with Sinbad in it is the mailman
Yeah.
or whatever. I used to watch A Wonderful Life like every year, and also Miracle on 34th Street. But now we seem to watch Elf quite a bit, but it's on like all the time, so it's hard not to see it.
Yeah. I watch Die Hard.
So you're of the mind that that's a Christmas movie.
I'm just kidding.
No, okay. Now I was definitely opposed to that being a Christmas movie, but someone did point out that they worked Christmas music into the soundtrack. So not like the score for the film has got Christmas music worked into the score. And I was like, all right, now that makes it closer to being acceptable as a Christmas movie, I suppose.
Batman Returns is a Christmas movie.
That's a bad one.
Yeah.
Actually, half that movie's good. The half with Catwoman in it.
Yeah.
And Selena Kyle. The whole Penguin stuff and the Max Shrek stuff could have lived without.
I thought Max Shrek was probably one of the better parts because he was all of his lines are so memorable.
I just didn't you kind of like the romance though between and maybe it's just because Michelle Pfeiffer's like really good looking, but I don't know. I mean, I like the romance between her and Keaton.
How did you get into protected files? Might I ask?
See that it was the first movie just had the Joker in it, right? Unless I'm forgetting something, right?
Yeah.
And then they went into that whole thing where they said too many villains, and it's like that movie should have focused completely on Catwoman, and it would have been a much better film.
How come that rule applies to only Batman, but everybody's like, let's go see the Avengers, and it's got a ton of people in there?
Well,
I'm waiting.
I don't know if I have a good explanation for that.
See?
Except that Avengers was pretty well done. Those Batman movies are not. I'm not a Schumacher fan. I know you met him and talked to him, but I'm not a Schumacher fan.
Well, I didn't say those were great movies.
And I'm not a Burton fan.
I didn't even bring up Schumacher. So
that's true. I mean, we're talking about Burton films, but I'm not a big Burton fan either. I mean, there's a couple of his films I like, but most of them I don't. I don't know. I thought that because I think most people, when they put in multiple characters, they don't know how to handle them. And they get too much in there, and it's like everything is shortcut. The characterization is a shortcut. In Avengers, they set up all those characters before they did the movie. So it was like you didn't have to do the characterization that you do when you introduce a brand new character that no one's ever seen before. And that was kind of the saving grace on the Avengers films, I would guess. That would be my answer to that question.
I call bullshit on it.
No, because look, you had to do the origin of the Penguin and set him up. Then you had to do Selena Kyle and Catwoman and set that up. And then you had Max Schreck. Now you could have played the Max Schreck and the Catwoman together because they sort of went hand in hand.
Yeah.
But Penguin, if you want to do a Penguin movie, then do a Penguin movie. You want to do a Catwoman movie, do a Catwoman movie. Because I just felt like that was the strongest part of the film. And then every time we went away from it, it wasn't as interesting. So it's like, well, okay, stick with what works. So there you go. That's just my feelings on it.
Your feelings are wrong, Aaron.
No, they're not. You're a Batman honk. That's your problem.
You damn Skippy.
You're
Ain't a problem.
You're an inflexible Batman honk. That's your problem.
That's not true because I criticize quite a bit.
Now,
Except for this last one was awesome.
Well, I will say this about this last one. That had multiple characters in it, and he pulled it off pretty well.
See?
We'll see. But okay, maybe it's not fair to say the problem with the movie is it had too many characters. The problem with the movie is the people doing the movie couldn't handle that many characters.
There you go.
That's probably what I should be saying.
I'm glad you bent to my will.
Well, no, I'll admit it when I, maybe misstated something.
Not too many people do nowadays.
That's true.
I applaud you on that.
Okay, now we're talking about Polar Express AI is creepy. I agree. I didn't like that movie at all.
I'm done, Aaron.
All right, let's see it. You're going to kick my butt on this one.
Damn Skippy.
Because I don't like putting heavy blacks on female
No,
characters.
I'm not done. I got to sign it.
I don't know if I'm going to sign mine or not. We'll see.
You know what? I'm going to do a little extra right here just to mess you up even more.
No, I'm conceding on this one already. I'm not happy with my piece at all. I never am, so.
Well, my whiteout has to dry in places, and I'm still accenting my moon.
So I think my first drawing was better, but it didn't really fit with what you were doing. So then I tried to do something that kind of fit with what you're doing.
You didn't have to make it fit what I was doing.
Yeah.
You made it harder for yourself.
I did. I always do. And then I end up regretting it. Nah, it's just just a terrible cycle. Come on, man. We're waiting on you.
Hey. Did you show yours yet?
I don't want to.
No, you got to.
Okay, all right. I'll show mine while you're doing your thing.
You did you sign it?
No. That's not bad, but
it's not. I don't know what you're talking about. Don't listen to these people in the chat. They got you gassed up thinking that you messed up somewhere.
it's just me.
Awesome. Hey, Ron, you awesome.
Here, so I put the heavy shadow on there, and So there it is. It's it's okay. But now it's time for you. Let's see your Frank Miller. Let's see it. Let's see it.
No.
Oh, wait a minute. I didn't put her earrings. Does she have earrings on? I don't know.
She could. She doesn't have to.
Yeah. Jiminy. She doesn't have to. Jiminy Critic. That's what I should call him. Jiminy Cricket is a critic.
Yeah.
He is. So he's always on my case. Dude, what did you do that you had to tape down to cover up some? Did you use splatter?
The word for today is splatter.
We got this glowing table. It's like this sort of angelic. All right. Are you ready? Full screen at it. Oh. What the? Okay, now why? Okay, why are his pants white or not black?
If it was color, it would
Yeah.
be red.
Okay, I got you.
It's his boxer trunks. He's a
Okay.
boxer, right?
Yeah.
Well, see, there you go.
All right, dude. You got the snow in there and the building and all that stuff. Very nice. I like to use that white in the background.
See, you got the Christmas theme in there, like you was.
Yep. Dude, I am doing Santa Claus next time we live stream. That's it. There you go.
I'll do Mrs. Claus. No, I'll do the Grinch.
There you go. Oh, I love the Grinch. Citizen Ronan says that face is great. Beautiful Christmas card. Under Armour, says Paul Brillart.
Yeah.
Shelley says nice. She didn't say anything when I showed mine. Dale A says I like it. Zaid says the snow.
There we go.
All right. Look at Aldion. Hey, see, Aldion's on my side. I like Aaron's drawing better, though. There's one vote for me. Oh, evil one. David smoked Aaron tonight. See, it's just, here we go again. No, it's good fun. So, okay. So are we going to start doing a regular live stream, just with you and me drawing? Is that going to be a thing?
Yes.
Okay. So we don't. There's my dog. My kingdom for a dog. So, all right. If let me change cameras here so I can talk to you face to face. All right. So what if we do like a midday stream so we're not like competing against everybody at night?
Okay. Sure.
Is that cool?
Sure.
All right. You heard it here, guys. Big announcement. You heard it here first. David and I are going to do a once a week starting this coming week, like either probably Wednesday or Thursday, probably Thursday. How does that sound? We'll do like a early afternoon lunch stream where we draw basically what we're doing here. This was like the preview show to kind of set you up for it. Like on the Saturday morning cartoons, they used to have to do that Friday night preview show of all the cartoons that you get to watch the next morning. And we'd stay up late and watch the previews and get up super early Saturday morning to watch the cartoons. This is our preview show. So there you go. Everybody's digging it. Look at that. Shelley's like, show me Husker, please. Shelley, he just ran downstairs to bark at the front door. So Jeff Potts says Mike would have remembered the earrings. What earrings? I don't even know what you guys are talking about. All right. Well, next time I'm going to draw characters that I'm a little more familiar with, so I don't have this problem. Joseph Pantalon. Aaron's art reminds me of Pretty Girl Sketchbook, art by great comic book artists. Thank you, sir. I think the highlights on the mask are my favorite part. He's talking about yours, David. And he says, says, David is rocking the Obi-Wan vibe tonight. So he's once again in using the Force against me. Evil One says, I got appointments at 3 p.m. and 4 p.m. Central Time on Thursdays. Oh, so now we have to work around Evil One's schedule. David has this Iron Man piece for sale right now if you want to get in touch with him about perhaps purchasing that. SKM sent me a $5 super sticker. Thank you so much for that. Appreciate that very much. Can I call you Skim for short? And again, let me plug Comic Art Convo Saturday on New Year's Eve afternoon. James from Sequential Treasures, or of Sequential Treasures. We do a show once a month on Saturday afternoons and just talk about comic book geekery. This will be no different as we talk about our favorite cover artists and cover art. So anyway, there you go. All right. Remember, you guys, the link to David's campaign, Bass Reeves, My Wraith of God, Blood Hunters, is in the description of this video. So you can use that to get over there if you want to check them out and potentially back something. Throw your hat in the ring, your cowboy hat in the ring with our Western comics. Aldion says, just saying, Aaron, primetime broadcasting is primetime for a reason. Many of us are stuck at work otherwise. Yeah, well, it's true. We'll figure it out. Like I said, I'll figure out a time, and then once we figure out a time, we'll stay with it. But I got to figure it out. But we will start this week, and we'll do once a week and draw stuff. So it'll be cool. Citizen Ronan says Dave is wearing the stoner hoodie. I don't know if that's what I'd call it, Dave. I don't know. Dave's not doing drugs. David says don't do drugs. So, all right, guys, that's all we got for tonight. I want to thank you all for joining us. It was a long-winded but very eventful draw stream, and we got more coming your way next week. Make sure you he's getting high on the alcohol-based markers. Check out Comics Kings on Monday, the Professionals on Tuesday. Then David and I, whenever we're going to do our draw stream next week, Thursday, something maybe, we'll let you know. Maybe Wednesday night. I don't know. We'll figure something out. But anyway, guys, thank you so much. Enjoy your week. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday evening, and we will see you all soon. Peace out, my brother.